Here you go.
Oh, I gotta take your trash.
Yes, you do.
Ah.
All right. So, all right. So we are back in the Leviathan here. We've got some more of the RPG elements I promised earlier and failed to deliver on. But here we've got the Kerrigan upgrade tree. So now I get to actually pick what powers I'm going to have equipped. It's actually kind of interesting to watch how this screen has evolved. Like, if you go back, some of the early screens that Blizzard put out for this game had a very different layout for just how you're picking abilities. Last time I played this, it was very different. So I can, instead of, it looks like I can trade. So instead of her kinetic blast, which I've been leaning on pretty heavily, I can just increase her life and her regeneration, make her more durable. And instead of this area of effect weapon that stuns and kills a bunch of guys, I can get a chain reaction, which is another kind of area of effect, not actually area of effect, but a chain lightning kind of thing, in keeping with her dark Jedi abilities. I'm going to give that one a try. See how that goes. So she's currently level 8. And oh, reinforcements have arrived.
Now we can get the real show started.
All right. So and so yeah, her stats are over here. She's got plus 100 life, plus 2 damage. That's stuff that happens as you upgrade. And yeah, so her overall stats down here.
Are you leveling up Kerrigan right now?
I am leveling up Kerrigan. Well, just choosing which abilities.
Sure.
So once I hit level 10, I'll be able to pick one of these 2 abilities. Improved Overlords, which provide 50% more supplies, so you just need fewer of them.
But they also morph instantly, which is pretty amazing.
That's right. And Zergling Reconstitution. Killed Zerglings respawn from your primary hatchery at no cost. That's pretty ridiculous.
That sounds awesome.
That's true.
Yeah, these are abilities that would never fly in multiplayer.
Right, these are totally there. Just like in the last campaign, they included fire bats in the single player, but not in multiplayer. They do things in single player that are potentially, balance breaking.
Welcome, gentlemen.
For fun. Hello, I'm Anthony Gallegos, by the way.
Hello.
This is Justin Davis.
That's me.
We forgot to introduce ourselves.
So now that Anthony and I are here, we can start the real live stream.
Exactly.
Get those yahoos out of here.
You can tweet your questions to at IGN with the hashtag SC2.
Is that the hashtag we're using?
It is, yeah.
Not HOTS.
ST2.
Okay, SC2. Cool. So Dan, you've been playing this for a couple hours now. Can you recap, sort of how many? So here's my question: how many missions of the campaign are you through?
I think we're through 3 missions.
You're through 3 missions.
I guess 4 kind of the tutorial.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the one you just did was the ice mission.
Yes.
Yeah, that one I particularly like the way that it has like the flash freezes that kind of affect things.
Right. So you played that at preview events too, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
And
if you play it on brutal difficulty as opposed to normal difficulty, like the indigenous creatures attack way more frequently, and so the flash freezes become like way more crucial.
Right.
And so the original StarCraft 2 did change the actual gameplay on brutal. They didn't just like buff the health, but it seems like they did way more of that in Heart of the Swarm. Is that right? So brutal difficulty, does it have different objectives, or do the levels just sort of play differently?
Well, the objectives are changed by the achievements.
Oh,
so
right,
it'll give you like make sure to kill all these extra enemies, or make sure to do it in a certain amount of time. So that's what really changes the style of play. But the difficulty, like what's attacking you, what's preventing you from doing that.
Sure.
Is
How do you, Dan? So far, have you had a chance to play any of the missions where you actually get to make like a permanent mutation to the swarm, and you get to like see the potential changes?
Not yet, and actually,
Okay.
From what I'm seeing here, I'm not even sure they kept that in the game.
Oh.
So let's wait and see, because
I think they did. What I read, and you actually played the game at preview events, but I think they were going to give you a chance to sort of see both of those mutations in action, and then you would get a choice. You have like a junction point where you would choose.
Right. So like that's what I played like last time I played it at a preview event. But these screens are very different.
And this game has changed radically.
Yeah,
like I was
Blizzard
watching.
does that.
So I've been doing my best to keep up with Heart of the Swarm, but I was doing some research last night and watching some old trailers, and hey, we got our intern here bringing us
beverages.
I was watching some old trailers and catching up on some old Heart of the Swarm stuff, and like these aren't just like early changes that then tweak. Like there were things that they were sure that was going to be in the game and that they released in trailers that they ended up cutting. Entire units are gone.
I mean, that's the thing about Blizzard, though, right? If it doesn't work, they're going to cut it.
Real quick here, I'm going to go with the tunneling clause for the Roach upgrade, which lets them move at full speed while burrowed. Life regeneration increased by 100% while burrowed.
That's awesome. So now you're just going to burrow all over the place.
Exactly. I mean, have Roaches. I mean, again, totally broken if this was a multiplayer thing.
Yeah. Right.
So when you played the Zerglings and you picked their mutation.
So they've got it now, so you can choose which mutation you want at any time. So you like if the
you choose
speed
at the start
upgrade,
of each mission, yeah.
If the speed upgrade didn't work for me last time, I can switch it to
I think
attack
those
speed
missions are still in the game. You just haven't gotten to the point where you actually get to do one yet. Because the
I
Zergling one is like the Zerglings can literally hop up cliffs, that sort of thing.
So I think what they may have done for the purposes of the demo we played, they may have made that earlier in the game.
Sure.
Or it's possible that it's just not in here anymore.
Yeah. I think they are too, and I love that. So this is very fun from a gameplay perspective. You know, each mission you might want radically different Zerglings, but it's also makes sense. You know, from a lore story mission, the Zerg are always remixing their DNA, and that's what they do is absorb and change their DNA on the fly. So it makes sense from a story perspective as well.
All right, we're gonna have a chat with Abathur here.
Okay, he's our gene weaver.
Okay.
What is that sound?
Failed experiments. Reverting to biomass. Slow process.
At least put them out of their misery first.
Wasted effort. Creatures will die soon. Pain irrelevant.
When you say things like that, Abathur, I almost remember you. And I feel anger.
Anger product of adrenaline. Stress response. Imminent threat. No threat to you. No
I don't know if you guys heard what Greg referred to this guy as.
No. I did not.
No, that's something to do with a vagina mouth. I forgot.
Okay. Oh. He looks kind of similar, like his upper structure, to the big brain monsters in Starship Troopers.
He does, yeah.
The voice of Kerrigan is Starbuck, right?
No, it's not Starbuck. You're wrong. It's the main Cylon.
Yeah.
Woman.
Right.
It's Trisha Helfer. We already had this discussion, guys.
Okay.
Sorry.
We just have to keep covering old ground here.
What's the next mission? Are we going on?
Well, we got a bunch of new conversations first.
Oh, let's
yeah.
So we can actually talk to our heads.
Nefash's brood lives again within the swarm.
When the Protoss struck, she fell back to prepared positions in the ice valleys. The Protoss had to hunt her down.
I don't know about this no-nose thing.
She was intelligent,
Very,
careful,
Harry Potter,
and tenacious.
Yes.
But she made one mistake. She ran away.
Let's see.
Capture Protoss.
So what do you think of this Protoss midriff here? I'm not digging this.
To see if its rotation.
Well, that's how you know it's a lady Protoss, is because its armor doesn't cover anything.
I don't think Protoss male armor covers their midriff either.
And you are killing us.
Yes. And if I let you live, you'll call your Golden Armada and they will kill me.
Kill thousands to save yourself. Is that
This next
how you
mission is awesome,
justify
by the way.
this?
I justify
This is
nothing.
the one I think it
There
is.
is no moral high ground here.
I'm not sure if it's going to have
Your
us do
people have killed billions of Zerg.
the char mission now.
We're
or,
all covered in blood. There
find
may be
out.
more on
We
my
will find
hands
out.
than yours, but in the
And there hasn't been
end,
any
we're
server
both
problems.
killers.
Everything's been super smooth.
Well, there was a crash early on.
Okay,
There was
sure.
But
I mean, this is, Blizzard, if there's one thing that they get right, it
The
is sort
hunt
of,
goes well,
in
my
my experience, their
queen.
launches are always pretty smooth.
It's
With the exception of Diablo.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that's true. That's true.
How quickly we forget.
That's true.
And then there was that whole World of Warcraft thing where they also.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, but that was
years and
8
years
years
ago.
ago. Yeah.
Like BattleNet is a
For
very, very
Zerg, it
robust
is.
service.
We have not
Whatever
forgotten.
my queen has lost.
We will never
Think
forget.
what she has gained. Purity of essence. You are the will of the swarm.
All right. So.
I like that they accept you as Zerg, even though
The
you're
Protoss
largely human
still
at this
seek to
point.
warn
Close enough. I mean,
Shakuras
she has a
of
scene
our
where she's
presence.
like, "Oh,
We are
either they'll
preparing
accept
to
me,
send
or I'll have to kill them all one by one until they do." So
Right.
she's bluffing a little bit. Like she has no memory of any of these people, and she's saying, she's like, "Oh yeah, I remember you guys. Better do what I say."
So you, you know, if someone's just tuning in now, or like my case, I just sat down in the chair. So Kerrigan starts the game in custody, right? Is the first mission sort of a tutorial, and that's you breaking out?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
So you don't actually break out. You like there's a mission where she's like proving her point that she's I'm still super powerful. I can the Zerg are not to be trifled with.
Yes.
So she goes and kills a bunch of robots. And then Manx forces attack that facility because she's there with Raynor, and like she escapes in the process.
Okay.
And Raynor is captured, and they say they've killed him, but
I don't think
I'm pretty sure that's not true.
Yeah. So we get to use Hydralisk this time. Bonus objectives will give us +3 Kerrigan levels if we do them.
So that's a Twitter question we have from Adamant Power. He says, do you have to power level Kerrigan, or is she high level off the bat? And so it looks like you can gain levels for her by completing bonus objectives.
Right. So yeah, that will accelerate her power gain. Also, this says it's a Zergling evolution mission, so we probably will get that Zergling evolution. All right.
Have you got a chance to play with any of the new Zerg units?
The Swarm Queen is a new unit.
Okay, that's one question that we have from Monkey Boy MD. He says, how do the new Zerg units feel thus far? Too much power, not enough. And it sounds like maybe that's more of a multiplayer question.
That's going to be a question that gets answered in the long term. Even when the Blizzard team was talking about it, they know that day one today, when this game comes out, there will likely be things they have to patch a week from now, because once it gets in the hands of a lot more people, they're going to find out things are imbalanced.
Also, these units that we're playing with now have virtually no relationship to the multiplayer units.
I think it was really smart. At the time when they decided to split up the single player and multiplayer units, for a long time they said, no, you're going to have the exact same units in both. If a unit's in one, it's going to be in the other. And they eventually decided, no, for story reasons, we don't want to do that. And, people didn't know how that was going to work. I think it was very smart.
Yeah, it's amazingly smart. I mean, just the fact that they don't have to, like, if there's a mission mechanic they want to do and it requires a funky unit, like whatever this is, they're going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, the big example is medics, right?
Yep, medics, firebats.
Yeah, this game still looks really damn good.
It does.
They improved, I'm not the world's most technical guy, so, but I know they did improve the way that the creep looks and the way that some other things work, but the game's system requirements didn't change, so it'll still run on any machine that ran StarCraft 2.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing they've been really good at is optimizing. And scaling, too. Like, you can make this game look pretty bad, but you can also run it on some really not great systems.
Yeah. And Dan, you said that when you were at your StarCraft 2 peak, you were low diamond, right?
Yeah. I just got into Diamond and I'm like, okay, I'm out.
Yeah, that's you were very modest, by the way. Oh, I'm not a great StarCraft 2 player, I'm low Diamond, and Anthony and I are like, poof.
I didn't say I am low Diamond, I said I barely got to low Diamond.
Still,
and now I'm
yeah,
like
but
way
come
out
on,
of practice.
Anthony, I would describe myself as an okay StarCraft 2 player, and I made silver at my peak, so.
Yeah, well, most people probably wouldn't describe, well, people that would really love StarCraft wouldn't necessarily call us that.
Yeah, I don't remember the percentages off the top of my head. I think Diamond was the top 1%,
No, Diamond was below Platinum, and then Master.
Oh,
so
right, so Bronze, Silver, Gold, Diamond, Platinum, Master, Grandmaster.
Yeah. So I had a long way to go. Before anyone would take me remotely
It's really nice
serious.
to have that little interface there that shows how many workers you have and how many workers you can have on it, rather, because I would always build too many and have workers waiting a lot of times.
And I think the big problem, and I don't know if someone's brand new to StarCraft 2 what they do, but they're probably not building enough. Like, if you're brand new to RTS games, you don't know what you're doing, you just want to build army units, like.
But in hindsight, after watching so many pro games, I would always build way too many because I'd be like, I don't know, it just seems like every time I have extra money, I should be building workers.
Yeah, I mean, well, the big thing is it's showing you the saturation point. So at what point are you getting diminishing returns from your workers? Are they going to have to sit and wait on minerals? And that's like the sort of thing that, that's solved by the easiest UI thing. Just put a little tiny UI thing there, but that's like something that would be advanced or you would need to research if you were a more casual StarCraft fan. Like that little thing, I bet, makes these missions so much easier for people that aren't super into the game.
It's much more approachable, yeah. And it's such a small change, right? But this mission, the goal is he has to stop all the shuttles from escaping.
And that requires a bunch of ranged units. So
right, so that's why
lots of Hydralisks.
Makes sense.
Teaching you about Hydras?
Yeah.
That's cool. And you can upgrade them to be faster off creep now, right? I think that's a new upgrade.
Yeah, because look how slow they are. It's painful watching them go.
And Kerrigan has her Force Lightning here, so she can also help.
It is 100% Force Lightning.
Yep.
The swarm never rests.
That's awesome. I mean, and that's another thing that I want to talk about. You know, if you were to actually look at the bullet points of Heart of the Swarm, you might say, oh, you know, there's only a few new units. You know, there doesn't seem like there's that much new stuff. But like every single element of this game got touched and tweaked. Like, you know, Hydralisk's having an upgrade that lets them move faster off creep. They had that upgrade before, but it was changed, right?
I don't recall, actually.
Yeah, I guess I'm not positive, but I mean, the point is many units have been rebalanced and tweaked and changed.
And I mean, a big part of it, too, is not only that multiplayer balance, but it takes a long time for them to tool these campaign missions because they're very different, right? They're not just get to the enemy base, kill enemy base to win.
Yeah,
every campaign mission, you know, just like in Wings of Liberty, their goal is to make them feel very different.
And that's something that's changed from, I guess the original StarCraft was a little bit like that, but you've seen like Blizzard and games evolve in general. Like each campaign mission has its own like special thing going on. They're you know, they're scripted in a lot of, you know, kind of fun ways.
Yeah. On normal, this mission isn't too bad. Again, this is really early in the campaign, so.
I don't think I actually played this mission at a preview event. I must have missed that one.
My queen, the Protoss were gathering biological samples
and what I'm sure you talked about this earlier, but so Kerrigan has, what's the bar? Is it like a mana bar, her energy bar at the top there? And so it is a little bit more, you described it as almost being Warcraft 3 like, where you have a hero unit.
It's very much like Warcraft 3 now, especially, you know, that you have to keep her alive.
Yeah.
Like she's very much so like the core, and she's like the core of your army now. Like she's
sure. And that's a nice way to make this feel different from StarCraft 2. This is a nice way to make it feel different from Wings of Liberty as well. You know, I'm sure you're going to have missions where you have to defend and hold out a certain amount of time. Missions like this where you have to go out into the field. But to make them feel different, you know, you do have this hero unit that it's a balance between she has to be really, really powerful and you need her like in your battles, but you can't also leave her too vulnerable.
Yeah, in normal, I don't think it'll be too much of a trouble for a lot of people, but in the brutal difficulties, I've definitely seen while watching other people play brutal that Kerrigan can get rocked, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure like you'll lose if you don't use her in battle, but you'll also lose if you leave her too exposed.
And eventually her special powers get pretty, I mean, she gets really crazy towards the end of the game.
Dan, have you, like, do you pay much attention? I guess you're playing on normal, so maybe it's not too big of a deal, but have you had to like keep her in the middle of your army ball or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely the last thing that gets killed. So it's been easy enough to get her away.
Yeah. Can I share my StarCraft confession with you guys?
Yeah.
I played a lot of StarCraft 1, a lot of Brood War, a lot of StarCraft 2. I never have spent very much time with the Zerg at all.
I think that's intimidating. The Zerg are intimidating for a lot of people, myself included, right? I mean, Teran are the army that seemed like the easiest for people to pick up and play.
I feel like it was the most fun in my opinion. Well, I played Protoss was my main. I've always mained Protoss for over 10 years now. And Zerg, I don't know, maybe Heart of the Swarm will be my excuse to finally, you know, spend time with the Protoss and spend time with the Zerg and learn their ins and outs.
Well, you played the campaign, right?
Yeah, I did, but I mean in multiplayer, like I never really learned that much about how.
Nothing stands in my way.
I don't think I've probably played more than 5 multiplayer matches as Zerg.
Yeah, I mean I've tried a few too. It's tough when you're having, especially in StarCraft 2, where to expand the creep, you're constantly having to have like queens throw down the nodes, the tumors. And like having to constantly think about that, maintaining your worker force. Also the fact that your workers, change into buildings, like too, like that's so unique to them, right? Just, there's a lot to constantly think about, and I am not.
Well, the biggest thing, the injecting larva is the biggest thing. And like I have long been a almost exclusive Zerg player in multiplayer, but like when I kind of stopped playing after it was I played it for about a year on and off. But I was like, okay, when I come back to it, I should learn to play Protoss because
Protoss is so great.
I'm too slow to keep injecting larvae all day.
Have you also? I don't know if we talked about this earlier in the stream, but they added like a certain level of physics now to the game.
No, I think they always had that. Like they always had to become ragdoll.
Yeah, like if you would explode Immortals or something as Protoss, like their parts would.
Right, but it's like now when they get hit by a siege tank, like parts will go flying through the air, that sort of thing. Like that's new.
Oh, is it? I thought they did do that before.
I could have sworn they did that in the first one.
Maybe they improved the physics.
Yeah, I'm sure they added some extra bling.
They definitely have. Like at the preview event, that was one of the things they specifically talked about was that there's like more improved physics to make the battles feel a little bit, in their words, more visceral. Right? I know that's a word we all hate, but it's.
But it does have its uses.
It's true. I mean, like the chunks go flying and stuff now when a siege tank hits. Like, you know, because before, if you played the old games, right, Marines would pop, but they would kind of just pop in place. But now it's like there's a physicality to the attacks.
Yeah.
Get them bases. See, and then this is where, like, again, like not only are the Zerg really complicated because they have to manage all of their creep and stuff, but once you start getting multiple bases too, I don't know, man. Zerg are just, they're intense. But I feel like this campaign is a good primer for multiplayer, which we're going to be showing later, but also there's a bunch of new tutorials.
That's actually
in the game as well.
That leads into a Twitter question we have. Rogzu asks, what pointers would you have for someone who has never played StarCraft before? Is it easy to jump into?
Yeah, I mean,
I'd say play the campaign.
Yeah.
And then now they've added a bunch of new multiplayer tutorials to this, where if you jump in and you play those, it'll kind of walk you through steps such as, you know, setting control groups and all the stuff that maybe you don't necessarily learn in the campaign, and through some basic multiplayer tactics that are useful.
I mean, I would say it's absolutely easy to jump into. You know, I think a lot of people get intimidated by StarCraft 2, but you really don't need to be. The campaign, first of all, really does ease you in slowly. I think you play, if you were to play Wings of Liberty, you play 3 or 4 missions before you're even doing,
honestly,
building like bunkers.
Even if you never wanted to play multiplayer and you only wanted to play single player, I've always found the StarCraft games to be worth it because the campaigns are great.
I agree. And I also think if you play, you know, stuff like very easy AI opponents, like they're drop dead easy. You can take all the time you need, screw up completely, and still probably win.
Exactly, and even if you start playing multiplayer matches, you'll do like ranking matches and you might get beat on, but then you're going to get stuck in a league where in my experience, their matchmaking is pretty good, where it'll be a much more fair fight. Like, you'll be with other people who are of equal skill.
Dan, what are you doing?
I'm screwing up.
You are.
No, you just got to build some
defenses.
Units. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
Also, man, those Hydralisks are painfully slow.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got a queen.
Show some hustle.
You got a queen with you for no reason.
No, actually, there is a reason now. They heal.
Oh,
and they're on auto heal.
And the queens can attack air too.
Yeah,
which is nice.
That's true. That's true. Get a little anti-air, mobile anti-air.
Yep.
As I say, so you know, again, if you're jumping into StarCraft, what was the mode called where you would have the challenges and it would teach you how to do like kind of more advanced?
That's true. Like there was
challenge modes.
There was the one for Protoss to like use the shields.
Yeah, for sure.
To hold off as long as you can. So
and they were totally legit. Like they were. I think you could get bronze, silver, and gold on them if I remember right.
Yeah, they were tough.
And like getting gold was like you needed to have like a pretty high. You know, you need to be a.
You need to be really good.
Player, yeah.
So for now, the mission.
Grown up.
The mission of the Zerg is you're gathering. It seems like the overall mission is kind of you're gathering new biomass to make the swarm stronger. Finding new species to incorporate.
Yeah, can we? So that's sort of the overarching. You know, Kerrigan has taken back control of the Zerg. She's trying to, and she's competing with other queens, right? And trying to like absorb new species to improve like her brood.
Well, they do that once. I don't know if they're going to continue absorbing species.
Okay, but that's. I mean, what's the basic storyline? I'm not of this mission.
Kerrigan's out to destroy some fools. What the storyline is? Kerrigan wants revenge.
On Minsk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you gonna kill that like space dude?
Not much time.
Well, you could, but.
Get him! Get him!
Oh.
Whoop!
Space deer?
I don't know. Yeah.
No, it's not inaccurate.
He's basically a
you just have to
deer.
click. You just have to actually tell them to attack.
Get him.
Nothing stands in my way.
Got him.
Okay.
This world is mine.
Thanks, Dan.
You're welcome, Jess.
I always felt really bad when I would do that to like the creeps in the old game.
Not me, man. They had it coming.
The only purpose they really served was back in the day you could use your the flying queens to spawn the creatures out of them. They would burst on them.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yep.
Oh, that makes sense.
Another question from Nan. How would you pronounce this? Okay.
Nandib.
Nandib. Do you guys like the StarCraft 2 1 and 2 campaign? Personally, not a big fan. I feel like there's too much World of Warcraft on them. I still like StarCraft 1 a lot better.
I liked the missions of Wings of Liberty. The story was a little.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's talking about the mission design. I do feel like
he's talking about missions, I think.
I don't think there's like World of Warcraft in the StarCraft 2 missions, are they?
I guess I'm not sure. You know, Nandib, if you're still watching, let us know. Elaborate on your question. But I guess generally speaking, how would you compare the two campaigns? Like, which one do you prefer?
I know Dan's a big fan of Brood Wars campaign.
I'm a much bigger fan. I think I'm a bigger fan of the StarCraft 2 campaign. I think I really like what they've done with the. Oh, I see. Yeah, gotta go over there.
I think they've made the characters more interesting only because now they can present like the stuff they're doing with the times where you return to the ship and you can have conversations with people, it humanizes them a lot more than you ever could with that, a picture on a screen, right? A talking head.
I love the achievement design of the campaign. I think it's probably, like, I'm not an achievement guy at all.
They make you want to get them.
I don't care about the
I may have screwed up.
What'd you do?
I wasn't paying attention to the shuttles.
Oh, it's gonna get out of there.
It's totally gonna get there.
Well, now I'm curious what'll happen if one gets away.
Oh, we lose the mission. It says no shuttles can escape.
Oh my god.
Oh, you got 30 seconds. You're probably gonna catch up.
Oh, okay. So okay.
Oh, that's close. That's close, Dan. Oh no, you got.
You got this.
You're closing the gap really fast. Ignore him. Ignore him.
Eventually, all I did is I ended up leaving a few units at every gate. I think is what I ended up having to do.
Just do a little run by. Dan, what are you doing?
You'll regret that.
Keep going, guys. Keep going.
Oh
no! Yeah, totally lost. They almost.
Well, that's proof that you gotta.
You do have to pay attention. You can't.
Yes.
You can't listen to Justin.
Or you can't sit here and talk and play at the same time all the time.
We are doing this live.
We kind of screwed Dan up.
Dan, this is your first IGN live stream, right?
Yes, it is.
So one thing that I learned, and that some people at home might not understand, is that it's actually much harder to drive and talk at the same time.
Talking and playing is a.
We often get comments about being terrible.
Well, especially in something like StarCraft 2, right?
Yeah,
where
for sure.
It really does require a lot of attention to be paid. Remember, you can tweet your questions at us at IGN with the hashtag StarCraft2.
Suggested question: why do you suck so much?
We get comments about not being great at video games, but that's because it's really hard to talk and be explaining what's going on and play at the same time.
Yeah, that, and I feel like we play a lot of games, right? So we don't have time to be maybe a specialist in maybe all but 1 or 2 games in our life.
That's true.
Another
Twitter question from Iris for the Win says, do you miss the campaign type from StarCraft 1 with the 3 multiple storylines?
Not really. I mean, yes, it's nice. But I'm not one of those people that's like, oh my God, they broke up the story into 3 parts. They're ripping us off. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
There's definitely pros and cons either way.
I liked being able to play do story missions as all 3 races back in the day, because if you want to play Protoss in this, you're pretty much doing multiplayer or arcade games.
Yeah.
But I do feel like the campaigns have gotten so much better, like in the level design and stuff too, that a lot of attention and love goes into this one campaign that I think is really cool.
I think, I'm not going to say that the StarCraft 2 storyline is a masterpiece, but I do think from a story perspective, you definitely benefit by not playing as all 3 armies. I feel like even with StarCraft 1 and Brood War, they did 10 Teran missions, 10 Zerg missions, 10 Protoss missions, and so it's like, it would be sort of anticlimactic sometimes. It's like, well, okay, we've told the story we want to tell, but now we got these 5 Protoss missions we still got to write. I didn't feel like the story flowed as well as it could. But that's just me. I feel like playing through one campaign straight through lets them tell a better story.
Yeah, that's fair, but the diversity of it was always a strong point.
Yeah, that's definitely true. But you're going to get that, when this saga is finished. Yeah, I guess it'll cost you $120 for the 3 games, but they're really integrated with one another. They're in one StarCraft 2 launcher, and you just pick the campaign. You'll have thousands of achievements to achieve.
One thing I think that's interesting to point out too is the reason Dan lost that last game is because you were going way up off of course to get a bonus objective.
Right.
So that Kerrigan level, it's like it's like those bonus objectives. It is tough to you're watching these gates for all the ships that could be potentially escaping, and also trying to kill those bonus objectives if you want those precious Kerrigan levels.
This is DS Beckman asks, Heart of the Swarm looks at least as stressful, if not more so, than Wings of Liberty. How should I maintain my blood pressure?
You could play on easy mode.
Yeah,
you can play on easy.
There's also checkpoints, right? You just saw Dan, we messed up, and Dan lost.
I biffed. Yeah.
Did
But there was.
You go back to a checkpoint?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're not starting over by any means. We're already part of the way there. So if you lose, it's okay.
I used to that's why I had to stop playing Wings of Liberty multiplayer. I was working from home at the time, and I was playing games before dinner. And then it was legitimately.
You just come in and scream at your wife.
Sort of. No, I'm not screaming at my wife, but I would it got to the point where it's affecting my mood afterwards if I had a bad night, and I'm I gotta stop, or I gotta learn to relax.
Sure.
But if you're playing relaxed, then it's well, what's the point of playing ranked games to begin with?
Oh yeah, I don't think you can play multiplayer StarCraft without crouching forward in your chair and
I don't know what it is.
Not blinking.
No game in my entire life stresses me out in the way that StarCraft multiplayer does, and I'm not sure sure exactly why. Like, I don't really care that much if I lose at Gears of War or Halo or, you know, any other multiplayer game.
You just can't, what you're saying is you can't play StarCraft just for fun.
No. It's all or nothing. And this is what, one of the things that I like about Battle.net a lot is the sort of incredibly comprehensive stat tracking.
Yeah.
And one of the things, so I reinstalled StarCraft 2 to, you know, to get myself pumped up for Heart of the Swarm.
Right.
And I saw my matches, I saw my match history. And so I played a lot at the launch couple months, and then there was nothing. And then last year, I'm like, oh, I want to check out and see what's going on with StarCraft 2. And I have 8 losses in a row.
Oh, wow.
It's just out. So there's a lot of activity at launch. Then in March 2012, it's loss, 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 loss. And then I don't remember that, but it was funny. I'm like, I must have just rage quit and uninstalled the game again.
You blacked out for a while there.
Trust me.
And I said, oh yeah, I remember why I stopped playing this.
Yeah, I have those moments too. Not in StarCraft though.
You play a lot of League, right?
Yeah. Sometimes I go through a losing streak in that, and I'm like, I'm never playing this game again.
And then you're back the next night.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I guess I can't blow these things up?
Nope, that'd be too easy.
You should leave a couple Hydras there.
Yeah. You guys.
You can even put them in a control group if you wanted to get crazy.
Yeah, or you could burrow them. But you don't need to burrow
I don't
them.
need to burrow them. Don't be ridiculous, Anthony.
You could probably upgrade your Hydras though, I imagine.
Oh yeah.
Can you?
That'd be a
I
good
actually
idea.
don't remember. Can you up the speed of campaign?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Yeah, it's true because no one plays on this. That's one thing that's
seems
true.
really
Is
slow.
because in multiplayer everyone plays at
Yeah.
like ultra speed, right?
Yeah.
And
Well, I
so-
mean, yeah, that's the default for any ranked match.
I know, which I'm just saying makes it even more like now. That's where your blood pressure all of a sudden is like.
But it also makes campaign, see, again, like I am not a professional StarCraft player, but I've played quite a bit of multiplayer, and it makes the campaign easy because it's so much more leisurely. Like, oh, I kept, when I was playing last night just to, you know, have some fun, I kept going back to my command center, but then there was still like 3 SCVs queued because I'm used to having to hit it, you know, every 60 seconds in real time or whatever.
Yeah. There are some AI, if you play the AI in multiplayer, it gets pretty brutal. Like I think on Very Hard or something, they actually kind of cheat.
Yeah.
They do, yeah.
So
I don't remember what they do.
it's like they
have map
can,
vision. Or?
it's like they
Their
can,
build times are shortened, I think.
exactly, and they can also do things like in a speed that no human can actually do because they can do like simultaneously 4 things. Which there are some amazing human beings that play StarCraft out there.
Yeah, it's true.
cyborgs, if you will, but they cannot quite do that.
It's like Guile's flash kick in Street Fighter 2. I'm like, you did not charge that for 1.5 seconds, AI.
This world is mine.
Yeah, there's our.
The AI has a little bit
Stasis
of a,
chamber, you gotta murder the stasis chamber though. Oh, but there's a target, you're right.
Yep. I can come back for that.
just rally some Hydras over there. Yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, one of the things
Still got
I've
those guys there.
been trying to learn in this game forever is all the hotkeys.
Yeah.
Some of them make sense. H for Hydralisk, but then there's always the occasion one that I'm like, what?
There's not much time.
I think I like that the game hides
Push ahead.
some of that. Like, if you were to look at that default UI down in the corner, like, that's very intimidating if you're a new player. But
Sure.
now, like, it's still there if you want it, but it doesn't surface it by default. Like, I think little things like that are smart.
Oh yeah, you totally got this.
Still got it a little closer than I'd like, but.
Sure. The Protoss beam cannon there, that thing's tough.
The Void Ray.
Only against single targets though.
Yep.
We, in Silver League, again, I played exclusively Protoss. I would either turtle up and mass Void Rays, or I would try to Zealot Rush.
Oh,
Void
What the hell's my
Rays
tactic?
are good, but if they have a lot of units, that's when they kind of start to fail though.
Against Zerg, though, a Void Ray Rush was vicious. It took me a long time to figure out how to beat that.
I would also Cannon Rush. That was my other big tactic. I was that player that everybody like hates. That's like
You were
kinda
that gimmick gamer.
Yeah, that's kind of scrubby. Like I wasn't actually learning special tactics. I was just.
You would just go on YouTube and look for cheap win videos and be like, all right, gonna try that now.
Well, I mean, I at least figured out my own cheap win tactics. The other thing I would do is I would often try to hide a probe in my opponent's base, and then try to hide a pylon in their base and just warp in a bunch of stalkers
Yep.
behind them.
I was always so pleased with myself when I would beat somebody who went all in on a tactic like that,
Yeah.
and I stopped them and then just quit.
Yep, that was me.
Yeah.
That was me. So, and it was so stupid because like half the time it would work and they wouldn't see my pylon, and half the time they would scout, or you know. So it's like, well,
That's one thing I've never been good at StarCraft is realizing like there's some people who can just tell like 3 minutes in like, oh, I've lost. Like I can never identify that until I'm like they're at my gates.
Yep.
I did, for as bad as my StarCraft 2 tactics were, I was a little jerk in StarCraft 1.
Yeah.
I would do the
You
thing
would just
where,
nuke people all the time?
well, I was Protoss again, and I would do the thing where if I knew I was going to lose, I would start hiding pylons all over the map.
You're
Sure,
you're a monster.
That's like the person that when Teran, you know, they just pick up their last barracks and fly it around.
Fly it in the corner.
Yeah.
I mean, what year did that game come out? How old was I?
98.
Yeah, I was probably, I was
in
13
97.
probably.
Wow.
Yeah, you've given PC gamers a bad name.
Yeah, I was one of those. I was also playing on dial-up.
Oh, I think everyone was.
Yeah, I was gonna say my first StarCraft matches were definitely on dial-up as well.
Sure.
DSL at my one friend's house, which that was the cool place to be.
That's right.
We had to, when the World of Warcraft beta was first starting, and we were all excited about that. When I first played World of Warcraft, I was on dial-up too.
Wow. Okay.
And I couldn't go to towns, not because my computer, like my computer could handle the towns, but my internet couldn't handle the data packets of all the people running around.
Carrier still looks so cool. Like Protoss tech in general still looks really cool.
If you're into that sort of thing.
I love sci-fi.
Dan, do you know there was talk of carriers? Did they remove them from multiplayer or not?
I think they did, yeah.
Yeah, I think they did too. They replaced them, not replaced, but the new sort of air siege unit is meant to sort of fill that role. This AI seems to have a lot of Arctosis pylons in the middle of their, like one pylon that's just the linchpin of everything.
Right, and that's intentional too, right? They want you to be able to kind of pinch it and
It's a very gamey design.
yeah. I think in this way they're trying to teach you, hey, shoot pylons, take them out, very good. You kill things.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, now they're sending two at once.
I got him.
Yeah, he finally got smart and had like some backup.
Yeah, second
Hydras.
control group.
That lightning ability is so nice.
Yeah. What other abilities does Kerrigan have?
Right now, she just has this this one kinetic blast and the chain lightning. The chain lightning is an option. Well, actually, they're both options. But the chain lightning, I replaced an area of effect weapon to get that.
Yeah, I was gonna say the ability I think I had when I played was I had one where she could lift units into the ground and temporarily disable them and then drop them.
Yeah.
Like the.
But it also damages and stuns them.
Exactly.
Like
so,
the Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was, but it was
But
like
it's an area of effect.
yeah. So you could like a group of zealots would run up and you lift them all. So now your hydras are just shooting at them. You get some free damage in.
We have a question from Tree Roy Wow. He says, do you feel that the huge hype before a game's release and big launch event is something unique to Blizzard games?
No.
No, everybody does that. If you can do it, they'll do it.
I mean, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, Blizzard, I will say, so for my
it's
answer
because
is,
Blizzard makes an event out of it.
right. Like their intro cinematics and all that stuff, you're just like, oh, this is going to be epic.
Also, it also comes down to the fact that Blizzard doesn't put out games that often.
No.
So in a lot of ways, it is an event.
Yep.
But that being said, I mean, how many people are going to make an event and make it crazy for GTA?
Yeah.
You know, or how big of an event was it for Halo? Or
Sure.
how big of an event was it for like? There's like PlayStation exclusives that get that sort of treatment too. So
Yeah, I agree. So, I mean, no, I don't think it's something that's unique to Blizzard. I think, Heart of the Swarm is ostensibly, like, it's an expansion pack, right?
it
Like,
is.
people
It
should
is
not be this hyped
100%
about
an
it.
expansion pack. You need Wings of Liberty to buy this.
But I just
Play
mean,
this.
like, this has more hype, like the crazy production value in the intro cinematic, and, Blizzard just does things in a way that not many companies can or are willing to do things
And I
anymore.
guess that's true to an extent because when, and even more so I think than some console games, when this releases, this is like a worldwide event.
Yep.
Like it's big here in the States, but Southeast Asia,
They go out
Europe,
day one all over the world.
it is crazy how big this game is all over the world. So it has such a deep penetration worldwide that.
Yeah. Speaking of, little tweaks that this game does, one not so little, but it is just one bullet point and many bullet points, is you can now play in other regions. So
Yeah.
if you're an American and you want to play on the Korean server, that's just a toggle that you can toggle over to the Korean server now.
luck.
Yeah, good luck. Don't do it.
Yeah, another feature that I think is really cool that we're going to show later in multiplayer is like if me and Justin were playing a battle and Justin totally beat me and I was like, man, Justin totally beat me. I want to see if I could have beat me with Justin's units. Like me and Justin could take that
You can dive into
from a spot in the match and then just take over each other's units.
like a
That's
replay
really
isn't
cool.
just a passive like watch this map back anymore.
Right.
You can dive back into that map and play it. Dan,
Yeah.
don't miss those shuttles.
I see him.
Okay.
I'm on it.
Asian Chunky asks, did the Zergs have any mercenary units like the Teran does?
Not yet.
Remember, you see that thing at the bottom, the lower third?
Yes.
Questions, tweet at IGN with the hashtag StarCraft2 or SC2, sorry.
And we are giving away...
We're giving away
Copies of the game
and some statues.
Yeah,
and we are giving away
Kerrigan action figures.
Some Queen of Blades. If you want the Queen of Blades on your mantle, tweet at us.
Do it.
And actually, Asian Chunky, you just won.
Congratulations.
He gets a Queen action figure, Kerrigan Queen.
Yes. So congrats. So everybody be sure to tweet at us using the hashtag SC2, tweet at IGN.
I wanted like a Queen action figure. You know, like the band?
like
Dynamite with a laser beam.
There you go.
I really liked the mercenary units of the Wings of Liberty campaign, now that I think about it.
Me too.
Yep.
That campaign was so good, man.
It was. The more I sit here thinking about it in the back of my mind, I really want to play it some more.
That's exactly what. So I installed it this week to pump myself up for Heart of the Swarm, and intended to just like check it out for a few minutes. Like I have Tomb Raider to play, I have SimCity to play, and I'm like, nope, I'm playing through all of Wings of Liberty again. It's so fun. Like it just sucks you in.
Yep.
Each mission propels you into the next in a good way. It's paced really well, I feel.
The slowest swarm of all time.
It's true. Do you have the? Can you upgrade there? Oh, look at that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Her chain lightning ability that he augmented is really nice.
That was really cool.
Like it has crazy range.
It's usually just a regular lightning bolt, but if you give up your area of effect ability, you get the chain.
I like how they're just hanging out and letting you do this.
Yeah, they're cool with it.
Yeah, they're like,
I don't know that they have any units left. Dan has been just mercilessly assaulting them one after the other.
If you're new to StarCraft, just burn down those pylons.
Yep.
You'll be fine.
I don't even think a lot of people would bother assaulting this base, right? A lot of people are going to just hang back and just wait for the shuttles to come to them.
Yeah,
but that's not the way Dan operates.
This isn't even a bonus objective. Dan's just wrecking face right now. But don't get. There are 2 more shuttles. Yeah. You have your spots covered.
I think Dan has it under control.
Fool me once, shame on me.
This is sort of a follow-up to a question we had earlier.
Also, that was nice.
A shuttle launch bay has been destroyed. So
so now no shuttles can come from that spot.
Oh, nice.
Let's get this over with.
See, there's a method to my madness.
That's true. You're not just showing off.
Oh no, disabled unit.
L. Clark 6 asks, I am a new player to StarCraft 2, playing through story mode now. What's the best way to prepare myself before jumping into multiplayer?
Tutorials, man. Tutorials, challenges.
The tutorials are not,
games.
like, tutorial is like a dirty word to video gamers, right? Like, everyone wants to skip them, but the StarCraft 2 tutorials are really well done and fun, and will teach you what you need.
Even if they're not fun.
It teaches you technique,
yeah,
which is different from, like, here's this unit and here's how it works.
Right.
We also, feel free to play against very easy bots, upgrade to easy, upgrade to normal.
Watch some replays.
Watch some replays.
I was going to say, I learned a lot by watching replays, watching pro games.
StarCraft 2 is not a perfect game. There's things that they could improve, but easing you into the experience. The game does it better than almost anything, I think. I don't know of any other game that has more options for like teaching you the ins and outs of the game than StarCraft.
Yeah, and again, don't be afraid to lose. Like, that's the biggest thing, right?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna.
You're going to. A lot.
Oh, crap.
You all right? You got it.
So, why do I not pay attention to this?
No, you're fine. By the time you spawn some stuff.
Yeah, you're totally fine.
Your roaches can't do anything, but they can at least take some fire.
Oh, that's no good.
No, you got this.
Yeah,
move. I was gonna say you could always move some of your spore towers by the portal entrance too.
True. Go.
We should morph units that can attack flying units.
Thank you, genius.
We can birth queens from the
Hey,
to
dummy!
destroy the enemy's
Please don't be a dummy.
Those hydras are gonna pop before that thing gets out, right?
I hope so.
Oh god, you need to tell them to attack the main ship.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh. I think we got
Yeah,
it.
otherwise they were targeting the carrier ships.
Scary.
Quickly.
Alright?
We have met the enemy in combat.
Oh yeah.
Whew. That was really close, Dan.
It was.
Well, it's all part of the show. If in case you're wondering, we're here to entertain
Run
as much
faster,
as
Hydralisks.
This next one we might let reach the gate too, just to make it look cool. Yeah, see, just to make it look cool. Isn't that cool?
If it keeps moving, you're gonna be in trouble.
I don't know, it's fine. It's gonna get blown up.
Yeah.
You have my attention.
One wave remaining.
Who asked
Under
you?
control. Under control.
Dan's taken out one of the portals.
It seems It seems a little slow. Like, this is a long mission, right?
Yep.
Well, that's a lot of the missions in Wings of Liberty were really long too. They had like multiple phases, you know. So I don't think that this is unheard of.
Sure. Yeah.
Ah,
Ouch, ouch, ouch.
Goliath,
Out with it.
Colossus.
The swarm never rests. Let's get this over with.
Oh, those beams. They look so good.
So
though.
beamy.
Mineral field depleted.
Yeah, they really are the anti-Hydra.
They're floating 7,000 minerals up there.
Yeah, I'm not-
Dan's sitting pretty. I mean,
Yeah.
at this point,
Like I said, I'm not a pro.
it's literally a matter of time at the moment.
Yeah. Get that macro hatch going.
Yeah, I am way out of practice,
I
and
think you're doing great, man. You got like 3 things going on the map.
I'm painfully out of practice.
Mothership.
They must be using it.
Also, Dan's coming to this right off of SimCity.
that's right. I did not have time to get back in the groove here.
It's a little bit like, are you just wanting to like snap roads? You want to have a road going from your minerals to your nexus?
Yep. I came over, all ready to be, spamming that try and log into the server button.
Yeah. We Eric Reigert asks, how quick was the Heart of the Swarm install?
It
Off
wasn't.
disk.
Yeah, it was off the disc. It wasn't bad.
Off
So is
disk
this
it was
still
like
doing
10
that thing
minutes.
where, I don't know, and maybe this is an incredibly dumb question, but when I reinstalled Wings of Liberty, it was streaming campaign missions.
Right.
Like, is that, like, what's the deal with that? It didn't used to do that, did it?
I think it was an addition, but
So, I mean, what's the purpose of that? Just to,
you can play it faster. Like it doesn't. I think it probably downloads all the cinematics.
but I wonder why they wouldn't
Later.
just, like, that's annoying for me because I just want to download the whole game and have it. Like,
My
no,
big
you,
thing-
you do after you download it.
One thing I'll recommend is if you haven't played in a long time, you should definitely hop into your game and let it optimize, because the first time you
Yeah.
play in a long time, it requires you to move around a bunch of install files. So
interesting.
it takes like 20 minutes.
The warp
Optimize
conduits are
it.
useless to them
See,
now.
told you.
All under control.
Queen, the Protoss
And I believe you're right. I think this is where we'll finally get our first evolution mission.
Yep.
Until they are all dead.
Oh, hardcore Kerrigan.
I love the achievement so much.
So I didn't get a couple. Let's see. So don't let a Protoss
Okay, so
shuttle
they can't even
begin
reach the warp
All right,
gate.
okay. And destroy 2 Protoss nexuses. So I should have got. If I destroyed one more, I would have gotten that achievement.
So it seems like there's even more in this game than there were. In Wings of Liberty, you would have like maybe 1 or 2 optional achievements per level, and
No,
this
I
has...
think there were always 3.
But now you got the 3 additional Kerrigan levels too, so that's nice.
Right.
For sure.
That means we're gonna get a new Kerrigan power this time too, because we're gonna hit level 10.
Nice.
And that's where you get the auto respawn the Zerglings.
burning like a star. But there is something underneath it I do not understand.
It's pain, Isha. Sometimes even my hatred can't shield me from memories.
Of an enemy who damaged you.
No, memories of better times. Of a friend, now lost.
So there's like alien dreadlocks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like
Zerglocks.
tendrils.
Zerglocks. I like it.
A new tier of abilities.
Yes.
Wow.
If you wish to use a new ability.
All right, so we want the Overlord. We want the Zergling reconstitution.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Then you can just spam Zerglings and they die and just bring them back.
And so this is a permanent choice, right?
No.
No,
Oh, look
you
at
can
that.
switch
So
them.
you can switch those
but
on the fly, too.
you can't switch on the mission. So it's
Yeah.
like before each mission, you kind of tailor it.
I mean, like this is something arguably a carryover from Diablo 3. Like
Right.
you can change all of your abilities whenever you want. You're never locked into anything, which honestly I'm not that big a fan of. I kind of like the permanent choice.
There are
Yeah.
some choices in this that are permanent. You'll see.
Well, maybe they are. We don't. Maybe they're not.
Okay, we will see.
You're about to see right now.
New discovery. Large-scale improvement to Zergling sequences.
What kind of improvement?
Answer complex. Can branch
There we
evolution
go.
of fully evolved Zergling. Form 2 new strains.
Then add them to the swarm, Abathur.
Strains mutually exclusive.
Right, there you go.
Will compete in sequence. One must be chosen. Other must be discarded.
Fine, make some of each.
I want to see them in action.
We'll set up tests for both. Initiate from evolution pit.
Yeah, see, I think that's really smart because
It lets you try them before.
it's like,
you walk
isn't
in.
it like super fast Zerglings? Or no, spawning 3 instead of 2 from an egg, and then once it can hop up and down
or the
ledges.
jumpers,
I'd be
yeah.
like, I don't know which of those I want.
They don't just hop up and down ledges. They also can jump towards an enemy and close the distance really fast. It's kind of like the Protoss Zealot.
The rush they do, yeah.
All right, so you can do the increased range, tougher, or when a frenzy is activated, the Hydralisk gains plus 50.
And attack speed?
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm a
I
bigger
vote
fan
for
of
range.
range. Exactly.
Range it is.
Hey.
Yeah. Higher range is always better, right?
No, I never actually used the burrowing. Like it's too much micro for me to worry about. I'm gonna change these guys over to.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, I'm gonna change them to plus armor.
Done.
They're my tanks.
Evolution mission. Here we go.
Zergling strain ready for augmentation.
We got the raptor and the swarmling.
Discovered on
Oh, and they each have their own
security
little-
world.
I didn't realize they had different like art for them too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adapt to
That's cool.
Zergling.
Yeah, so you can tell at a site what they are. The like we said, the raptor ones are the ones that can jump. The swarm ones, they spawn 3 out of an egg and they spawn really fast. So you can just have a ton of them really,
Right.
really fast.
150% more.
But that's true. But you can. But the cool
50%,
thing about them,
150% of your.
I didn't sign up to be a mathematician. No, but I'm just saying. Another thing that I think is really cool is that once the raptor ones are also really cool because they can go up ledges, which gives them the ability to kind of,
Well, they're like they're reapers.
right. Except they aren't in multiplayer for that very reason.
So I was.
Planet Callus.
Oh, well, let's watch this.
Yeah, I like the way it zooms in like this.
Dominion security outpost.
Those
in
Terrans
place
are in for
above
some.
Valley.
They're gonna have a bad day.
They're literally just here to be an experiment.
Adaptation required. Local Karak vault through air. Attack prey. Devour Karak. Collect
Oh, so I guess that is their running thing.
Trade
You
into Zergling strand.
That's cool.
Once
eat
collected,
local wildlife
Dominion
and
outpost
absorb
within
the.
I really
Right,
like
that's cool that you're getting to see it in action because that was something they always implied all the time with the original one. Like
Right.
Zerglings were originally a species that they incorporated into the swarm. Oh, you gotta eat
those
them.
Carrick.
Oh yeah.
Nom 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 nom.
I think that's something that Blizzard games do better than other companies, where they integrate gameplay and story and lore like really directly to each other. Like the story and lore of the Zerg is now directly tied to like how their actual gameplay works,
Yeah.
and they're very separate in a lot of other games.
Zerglings ready for combat.
Look at those raptors are.
Good.
Yeah, Blizzard definitely does a much better job of that in RTSs than.
Whoa.
Yeah, they actually look really gross now because I don't know
Yeah.
if you've ever seen a bunch of cockroaches, but now they really remind me of that.
They remind me of termites.
Or, yeah, that's true. The winged termites. Yeah.
Get him. Oh.
I see. Slow-mo leap.
Scales.
Why would they have even had a bunker there? That doesn't make any sense.
I just never saw this coming.
Yeah.
Just the constant skittering of their wing sound is really getting to me.
You can take 5 if you need to, Anthony.
I just feel like when Dan picks which evolution he wants, he doesn't want this one. No, they're actually really cool.
I might pick them just to hear you say Spaka more often. Yeah, they're also really good at surround
Yeah.
because they can if there's something they have to get over, they just jump over it.
Yeah, and I mean closing the gaps with the siege tank, right? They can
Yep.
get that extra last leap in there, which is really gonna help.
Ready
Yeah.
for testing.
Time to teleport to another planet. Through space and time.
I think it's really clever that they give you a chance to play with each of these for a second before you have to pick.
100%. I mean, if you're gonna make a permanent choice, right? It's just like any action RPG or something like that, right? Like, why do you want to tell someone, pick a barbarian, which you're going to spend 100 hours with before you even know what a barbarian does? That sort of thing, right?
I was thinking about that.
Or in
with,
World of Warcraft, you pick
That's
a,
what I was saying. Like I picked my class in World of Warcraft and I tested out a few of them, but like I spent hundreds of hours on my warlock without even trying some of the other classes.
right, and that's something they find in a lot of games,
There's a
right?
Dominion
That's an
force
important
on its
decision
way.
you're
Bring
making.
down to
Yeah.
the Hive cluster. Work fast, Abathur.
And that's obviously something that's on Blizzard's minds, because you do have these evolution missions, and even in World of Warcraft, they show you max level armor when you're picking your character now, so you know how they're going to look.
Sure. But you still don't get an idea of how they're going to play, which is still something that's tough.
But they will. I'm sure that that's
eventually
something that's
something.
Look how fast these things spawn.
Yeah.
Do they spawn faster, or do you just
They
get
spawn
3?
faster, and you get 3 of them.
Oh, man.
So, man, right up within like 10 seconds, you can have a swarm of Zerglings, which that combined with Dan's passive power to, you know, respawn Zerglings at the base, that could work out really, really well.
Can you imagine how broken this would be in multiplayer?
Exactly. That's why they want to make you feel like Kerrigan is a monster, right? She is a monster, super powerful beast, but don't want to break that. I also like these ones because they look a little bit like not Pteranodons. I don't some sort of dinosaurs. Yeah.
Ready to morph additional Zerglings. Destroy base.
Yeah, more of those Zerglings. So many eggs. So many Zerglings.
Wow, that is really
That's what I'm
fast.
saying. That's why it'd be so broken.
That's serious business spawning. Do you have any questions?
We don't have any questions right now. Make sure you're tweeting questions to tweet at IGN with the hashtag SC2, and we are giving away Kerrigan Queen action figures.
And copies of the game.
Then shoot everywhere.
They're everywhere. Then shoot everywhere.
I know that these games have always never shied away from embracing like archetypes. Like that guy's very clearly supposed to be Arnold.
Oh yeah.
You know.
And they, you know, it is sort of a serious storyline, but like it's also not like too. I'd forgotten all about the news broadcasts in Wings of Liberty, where it's like, tell us more about Raynor being a terrorist, and it's like, actually the people are really happy, and then the newscaster like cuts her off. He's like, ugh. It's like stuff like that's really over the top, right? But
Sure.
like,
And they've also always had the hidden messages where if you click on a unit way more than you
Yeah.
should, they say things that are kind of silly.
yeah.
Doesn't really apply to the Zerg though.
No, that's true.
I mean, I'm sure they say something.
They say blah.
Swarming test concluded.
Kerrigan will talk to you, but yeah.
Prepare sequences for swarm integration. Returning to evolution bit.
So we're obviously taking the swarm, right?
I don't know.
Sequences ready.
How many
for
ledges?
integration.
So let me make my case.
Decision.
Like
Well,
the ledges are situational.
It's not the ledges I like. It's that they can they have the fast
to
surround.
close the gap, yeah.
okay.
Closing the
okay.
gap and the surround is what I like. So I think I'm gonna have to go with the
it's your
Fly
choice.
Boys. See, like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Gains +2 damage and increase of 40%. Jump up and down close. I'd say, yeah, they're good. They're
enough.
good.
Evolution.
And so in addition to that, I can also make them like more durable, or I can make them faster. So that's pretty badass.
And they also look pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, guys. I want to go home and play this.
Me too.
There's just no time.
Let's get some 2v2 matches going.
You definitely should. All right, so let's
I'm going to look into
guy
your
up.
memories
Ooh,
and find out why I feel so angry when I see you.
that's
Wow.
an incredibly scary sentence.
Is not important. Distractions.
I see it in your mind. You designed the Queen of Blades.
Made her.
Your limbs wrapped me in the chrysalis.
Weak and soft. Broke bones. Tore flesh. Improved you.
If you weren't important to my plans, you'd be dead right now.
Unclear.
Gross.
What's unclear?
Yeah, unclear. She wants you dead.
Yeah.
You do not have to do this. You could leave. Be away from this moon before the Golden Armada arrives.
Sure, we could.
I can't run. I know that now. My enemies will never stop coming for me. All I can do is fight.
Oh, Kerrigan, you're
Then
so
there
one
will
note.
never be peace.
I'm angry.
Peace?
Our scouts report a large Protoss ship on the other side of the moon.
The interstellar ship that used to travel here.
It is not yet ready for launch, but it will be before we can get to it.
They're tenacious. I'll give them that. But I am ready for this.
Yes, you are.
It's kind of hard to. It's an obvious complaint, but like, you can't really identify with the Zerg in the same way that you do the humans. Like, I felt like it was a lot of fun running around that capital ship and like talking to the different people, but like talking to some Zerg bug, I'm like, well.
All the Zerg, and it's tough too because the humans, you're like, you're fighting for something good, and the Zerg are obviously. I mean, Kerrigan's fighting for revenge, and you can kind of sympathize with her in that regard, but
yeah.
If you're a vengeance-minded person like me,
but
like, yeah, I don't know, they're evil, right?
So this is the Roach mission evolution.
Oh, okay.
The Roach evolution mission, rather. Blah.
Nice. And so this one you only get one bonus Kerrigan mission, or bonus Kerrigan level.
This mission that he's about to do. Of all the missions I played in the early build, this is my favorite.
Okay.
This is the one that feels particularly Zerg-like, in my opinion.
I'm not sure I did. I played it, so we'll find out.
For what I must do to you.
Whoa!
Your friends on
Kind of
that
has
ship
alien
can
dreads
sense
too.
They know they left one behind. But they can't warp you to their ship because I'm blocking them.
No! No!
But if I drop the veil,
Do not warp me in, Templar! Do not!
Yes.
You let the other Protoss take her?
she will be their death.
This mission feels particularly like what the Zerg are obviously inspired by in some regards. Like, it feels like aliens, which is why it's so awesome.
Starship Troopers.
Well,
that came after. What year did we say StarCraft came out?
Well, the book Starship Troopers is very, very old, by the way.
Yeah,
so.
that's from
That's
the
true.
70s.
But it's very different to the movies, too.
Or is it 60s? I forget.
Yeah, they are very different. That's true.
In the book Starship Troopers, since this is a Starship Troopers live stream, is about powered suits rather than guys with just pistols or rifles.
Yeah.
But yeah, this mission is so cool.
Yeah, I haven't played this one.
We have a question here from Twitter. Alex Dusage asks, in your opinion, what race is the most overpowering and why?
None of them.
That's hard to say.
Yeah, I mean, they work really hard to make it. Oh,
Listen
what just
carefully.
happened?
This ship contains
Right, that's what
many
Kerrigan put in
dangers.
her before she sent
Follow my
her back.
commands
She
and hide in
infested
the
her.
shadows. You
And
will
now you're this
consume
little,
and grow.
basically a little face hugger.
Infest this
Or
ship
actually more like a
and
little chest
kill
burster.
every last
Yeah.
Protoss on board.
So, I think the races are really balanced. It's really just about what your playstyle is.
Yeah, they will. If one is overpowered, they'll make it so it's not.
Right. We have another question from Twitter. It says, I am thinking, this is from Balder Chris.
Loaded with life.
It says, I am thinking of buying StarCraft 2. Is there a co-op campaign so I can play with my friends?
There is not.
No.
There's no co-op campaign. There's lots and lots of co-op options, though.
Sure, I mean, like you said, in multiplayer you can do a 2v2 versus computer, and there are a lot of arcade games that have been made that have centered a lot more around co-op.
There are arcade games. There's, I would say this is a very co-op. You know, you're gonna get a lot more enjoyment out of it if you have friends to play with, but you can't actually play through the campaign with multiple people.
I get over there.
Yeah, that way.
Oh, this way. Okay.
I have a tendency to just hot-click the map.
Yeah.
Like
And just watch the pathing they take.
Yeah. Be sure to tweet your questions to us at IGN with the hashtag SC2. We are giving away prizes, and we're doing our best to, you know, answer them all
A
on air.
zealot.
Yep.
Use your parasitic invasion to hide within that creature.
Nom,
What
nom,
was
nom.
that noise?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Not just this dog, this Lyote.
All right, he's gone. Consume your host and move on.
Cool.
Nom.
That biomass.
Yep, but eventually when you get enough of it.
A sentry. Hide in the steam vents.
See, I just like
until
this
it
mission because
passes.
this is an example of how different this mission is compared to other ones, right? You're doing like stealth parts, you're like not this super powerful creature yet. Very different feeling than the other missions that we've seen.
All other priorities rescinded. Patrolling.
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
Can I eat him?
No.
No. Oh, so screwed. So screwed. I thought I could eat him.
If you're just watching us, by the way, or if you've just been watching for a while, remember that we do have multiplayer coming up a little bit later too. If that's what you're really interested in,
You're gonna
that's
show-
coming up around 12:30, I
Yeah.
believe.
12:30, we're going to have some of the IPL guys come in with Dan and show off some of the multiplayer features. I think you're also, are you going to take a look at Arcade too, do you know?
I think that was his plan.
I think we'll have some time for that, I'm sure.
Dan, you're not even halfway through yet.
I have no idea what's going on.
No. The campaign is the first games. This one has fewer missions, I think, than the last campaign.
It's got
but
20,
not
about 20.
But it's still like I know that it is a several hour-long campaign.
Yeah.
Nope. Chest bursted. Although chest bursts aren't even quite that violent.
Yeah.
This ship
Can you
contains
skip,
many
like, if
dangers.
you wanted to? Yeah. So, like, if you're replaying the campaign, or in this case, like, we had to restart. Like, you're not forced to just rewatch.
Sorry. Sometimes I forget that I'm on camera, and then I'm like rotating in my chair like an idiot.
And spawn your
I
brood.
have a hard time sitting still.
I think it's fine.
I'm really excited for video games.
I do. When I said Dan's not even halfway through, I meant halfway through this live stream. What a unfortunate life you lead, Dan, where you just have to play StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm all day.
I could do worse.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit jealous of Dan's day.
Consume your host.
I mean, having to talk to people all day.
That's awful.
A sentry. Hide in the steam vents until it passes.
We have a Twitter question from L. Booton. He asks, what PC are you using and how is your FPS?
The FPS is perfectly smooth.
Yeah, the computer we're using is like a decent Core i7 with a AMD 6970 and like 8 gigs of RAM. So I mean, it's no slouch.
And StarCraft 2 is optimized where I use a notebook computer to play, and it's totally fine. Like, it runs everything on high settings. Like,
yeah.
So I just jumped into this big guy and
infested animals.
wailing on these guys.
They have no idea what they're up against.
Possessed him like a brain monster. Oh yeah.
It's really fun. It gives you a chance to, they made these passive creatures just to be like scenery in the missions, but now they actually put them front and center for once.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Well, this guy, I forgot if this guy was playable at all. Or was actually in the Wings of Liberty campaign. I think it was an enemy in one of the missions.
Oh,
it might have been.
Weird. Safe place. That's funny.
Yes.
Stop here. This area is safe from prying eyes.
This is like where the alien goes to,
grow.
Yeah, just
hide.
That part of the movie where they're like, oh, what is it? That was weird.
It's just getting bigger,
Yeah, and then in 20 minutes, it's going to be like, brah.
There you go.
A little bit bigger.
Well, that's why you absorbed all that biomass.
Yeah.
A question from Tej Morrison.
This is your purpose. Spawn a brood and destroy the Protoss.
He says, are you feeling segregated from the rest of the story while doing these mutation missions? The mission before where we went on the branching path.
Kill these creatures.
I mean, it is a little bit different. It doesn't seem like to be a real big part of it.
Yeah, I mean, based on what I saw, they don't seem like full-length, 20, 30-minute missions. They're just sort of little semi-tutorials, I guess, to give you an opportunity to see those evolutions before you have to try them out.
Yeah, it's nice. You can basically just mash W now and spawn a bunch of Zerglings.
Yep.
And what's your G? You have another ability too? That's cool.
That's grow, so I need more math.
Wow.
All the biomass. Oh, the Raptor Swarm, man, they're so cool to watch in action, but the wing sound always gonna bother me.
Without question. For the swarm. The hunt continues.
Why do these Protoss just go around collecting like life forms, right?
Without question.
Convenient,
They're
isn't it?
Protoss for the ethical treatment of animals.
Gosh darn it. I just realized that you totally turned that into a pizza joke.
I may have.
Tear down their defenses. Nothing stops the swarm. I am Lebra.
So, Dan, you were on here for a couple hours with Damon and Greg, who are not, StarCraft players. How did that? Were they sold on the game? Were they impressed with what they were seeing? Can you relay the impression of someone that is not a big StarCraft guy? What were they thinking?
I mean, I think Greg liked it more than Damon. Damon is not an RTS player at all. Greg has played a couple RTSs, but never laid hands on StarCraft before.
And I think that's very fair. I mean, I think StarCraft 2 is great. I'm very pumped for it. If it's not your genre, this is like a very pure example of the genre, right?
Sure, I mean, there's people that will not want to play this, just like there are certain games that Greg and them get really into that I'm not really necessarily a huge fan of either, so I can't begrudge anyone.
I mean, it's kind of like as well done as something is. Like, if you're not a first-person shooter fan, you won't like Halo or Call of Duty.
Sure. I mean, I understand that, you know, Street Fighter is an amazingly well-made fighting game, but I'm not a fighting game guy.
Right.
So it's the same as for fans of the genre. Dan Stapleton is a huge fan of that.
Of course, fans of the genre will like things in the genre. Who else is gonna like it?
The hunt continues.
Yeah, one of these days I think I'm gonna work that into some review text. Just to troll
just to keep
Dan.
Dan on his toes and see if he's paying attention.
Just so he'll immediately send it back and be like, rewrite.
In conclusion, fans of the genre will like this game.
Yeah, but it's a mixed bag.
Though it's a mixed bag, fans of the genre will like this game because of its visceral combat.
And this vessel will never reach Shakuras.
That's great.
I think it's time to spawn some more Zerglings.
Yeah. Let's see. Fine. I was hoping to save my juice.
Yeah.
Unacceptable command. Unacceptable.
Okay.
Zerg are so gross.
Yeah.
We just need an alien strategy game like this. That's all I keep thinking about. I think I just want a really good aliens game because Colonial Marines is on.
Yeah.
I just mod this.
That's true. I used to have a friend that in the original StarCraft would mod storylines like a Terminator storyline and stuff into the original one. And by mod, I just mean like they made it so you could do that. They gave authoring tools.
Yeah. There's really advanced authoring tools in StarCraft 2 as well.
Yeah.
I am Niadra. We obey.
I guess.
She has to do it because she has range attack.
Yep. Hopefully they didn't give it too many hit points.
Can you get around on the side there?
No. She specifically said, "I will kill it myself."
But you would think that these guys could jump over there.
We did just evolve that.
Just.
Well, what would happen if they missed? Would they just fall off into space? That seems like a bad ship design.
Yeah, it does. Maybe just like enclose those spaces. Oh, you gotta get out of here.
Gotta go.
Contain them! The Zerg must not breach the stasis chambers!
We will not hold back the swarm.
Yep. Doesn't matter, man. They die. He's getting biomass when he kills these guys.
You have all these Zerglings and that giant. I don't even know. Is it the queen, the giant queen?
Yeah,
all from the little tiny larva.
But this queen is also a named queen, so she kind of has like a personality of her own.
Yeah.
She's a hero unit.
Minute 19 to get there. Dan did in about 12 seconds.
Yeah, I definitely want to replay this whole campaign on Brutal.
Yeah, for
The
sure.
explosions have stopped.
Wait, there is a disturbance in the chamber ahead.
Also in the fort.
Emergency. Power failure detected. Awakening Protoss warriors from stasis.
Well, the other ones proved to be such a challenge.
Yeah. Why were they in stasis to begin with?
Guide my breed.
I don't know, you're traveling long distances, you don't want them to age.
But some are woken up.
Put them in stasis. Well, some's got to stay up to maintain the others, so maybe they switch out. I mean, they came from extra galactic.
Well, extra solar, they call it.
Solar, yeah, they just came from outside the solar system. I'm really good with words when I speak. I think the ones that are flashing red.
Well, people use things like outer space and galaxy, and like they use all that interchangeably. Like all of like Star Trek only takes place in one galaxy.
Expand your control over
Well,
your brood,
Almost
Niadra.
entirely, yeah.
All right.
It takes place in one quadrant of
I
space,
am Niadra.
the Alpha Quadrant.
Yeah,
Well,
except
Alpha and Beta.
except for Voyager.
Yeah,
and
except for
yada,
Voyager.
yada. The point is, you're not going to other galaxies in that show.
They do occasionally.
In one episode of Voyager, they go to another dimension.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Must have that
StarCraft, Star Trek.
So let's bring this back around. I don't actually remember or know, like in relation to us, like Dan and Anthony and me, StarCraft is. Do you know what year it is, or I don't remember.
No, this is like way in the future.
I mean, I know it is, but is it like 2500? Or?
I don't think it's specified.
Okay. And does it specify where, like, we're in our galaxy, right?
Yeah, well, it must be because Earth is part of the lore.
Right. See, I don't remember that part of the lore, like how we get from where we are now.
Well, because there's like the Teran colonies out in space,
and then
the Dominion are the people that are like, no.
Yeah.
And then eventually the Earth fleet comes to try and help. That's like what Brood War has. The Earth fleet coming. They're finally arriving.
Yeah.
So there was the colonies that were sent out, and they kind of formed their own government, and then Earth decided they were going to come back. And
exactly. They kind of chafed under them. Conveniently,
Yeah.
there's an article on IGN.com that has both StarCraft in 5 minutes that covers StarCraft and Brood War, and then a story recap of Wings of Liberty as well.
Dan, you're gonna need more. You're gonna need more Zerglings.
While Dan continues to murder these guys, remember you can tweet us your questions at IGN with the hashtag SC2. Right there on the bottom. You guys see it. Write us. Maybe you can win a Kerrigan statue or a copy of the game. We'll see.
We will see. We do have one question. I'm saving it for when we're back at the menu because we can show it off.
Okay. So much biomass.
I don't even know what to do with all this biomass.
You must evolve. Grow stronger.
Yes.
The final battle approaches.
We do have one question from
Big Queen.
Yeah, she is getting like physically bigger, isn't she? Not just stronger.
I can spawn Hydras and Roaches now.
G Ferrario asks, isn't there supposed to be a new mech unit for Terrans? I don't see it in multiplayer. I hope it didn't get axed.
No, it's in there. It's I can't think of what it's called off the top of my head. One second.
So the Terrans have 2 new units. They have the new Spider Mines, which are not just boring Spider Mines. They can also fire in the air. And then the Hellion transforms into the Hellbat.
Right, that's what I was trying to find. Yeah.
So I don't remember exactly what made it unbalanced, but for a while that was a separate mech unit, and then they eventually made it a transformation of the Hellion instead, I guess for balance reasons. Yeah, right, the Hellbat. Did I call it the right thing?
The Hellbat.
Yeah.
Kill the Arsadon. We yearn for the kill. The Arsadon is mine. Come be.
Oh, did you more? Are those Hydras?
Yeah.
Nice.
The Protoss now try and kill the specimens before I can get to them.
Poor dog.
Yeah. The biomass effect.
I see what they did there.
That's a very Dan-worthy pun right there.
The Protoss are fortifying the bridge. Prepare your forces.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know that we also have a StarCraft 2 wiki forums from they're working on. So if you know a lot more about it than us, which you probably do, you should go help out.
Contribute to knowledge of the internet.
I knew it was a bigger battle. Is your guy stuck in the door?
The Ursadon and the Hydralisk are like, no, me first.
Yeah.
Whatever, he's Zerg, man. If they die, what does it matter?
Yeah.
Nothing matters to the queen.
He'll just like puke some more.
Yeah, I push W and they come back.
Yeah.
As far as it can. Prepare the escape pods.
Destroy the pods before they launch. The Protoss must not reach Shakuras.
You won't even let them escape?
Nope.
Nope.
He's ruthless, man.
Yeah.
Strike now. We must buy our brothers time.
They prepare more escape pods. Destroy
No escape for you.
I fear no enemy, for the color is my strength.
Keep more Hydralisks.
It's really more of a pooping than a puking.
Poop more Hydralisks. That's true.
It's called spawning.
Pooping.
Yeah.
You mean pooping?
Yes, my queen.
Not what I. Well, let's just drop this
Okay.
conversation.
This is still better than Greg's vagina mouth thing.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I was just gonna say that for me, I don't consider every time when I go to the bathroom, I'm not like it's time to go spawn, right?
In Greg's defense, he's just saying what we were all thinking.
Yeah.
The void.
Yeah, I mean these aliens have a little bit of that like H.R. Geiger design, right? And
Yeah,
he was very
definitely.
much had some sexual symbolism and
Oh,
stuff.
it was incredibly valid for sure.
Yeah,
It was very subtle.
yeah, it was incredibly subtle.
Yes, my queen.
I don't know what subtlety means.
I think that joke was subtle.
Yeah, exactly.
We give our lives for the color.
This was delayed, like, what, a year, I think?
I don't think it was never officially delayed because they never announced a release date.
Yeah, you know, that's Blizzard's thing, right? Is they don't announce a date until they're going to hit it, pretty much, so.
That's true. I guess that's true.
They're the original creators
done.
of the when it's ready stance, right?
It's one of those things where I actually just did what my pet peeve is, which is like, oh, this was delayed when they never actually announced it.
Well, it just felt like it because...
But, like, when did Wings of Liberty come out?
2 years ago.
Yeah, more, like, it wasn't like 2.5 years
Was it
ago?
2011 or 2010? I thought it was 2010.
Let's look it up.
Google it. Everyone loves watching people Google.
Well, we're
I
not...
think it was 2010. I think it almost was 3 years ago.
Can you hear me?
Sorry, this... July 27th, 2010. Wow.
Right?
Time really... I guess...
That's unbelievable.
I guess it felt like... I guess it felt shorter because in that meantime they put out Diablo, which for them, any, like...
Yeah. And a WoW expansion.
Yeah. So, they've been hitting like a game a year, I guess. You know,
Yeah.
like last year they had 2,
Yeah.
which is kind of unheard of for them.
Yeah.
Well, and you're counting Pandaria as well?
Yeah. So, they have BlizzCon again this year, which no doubt we'll be seeing. Like, they'll probably tease
Whatever Titan.
the Legacy of the Void
Legacy of the Void,
expansion,
that's what
and
I
then
was
they'll
thinking.
probably show a new WoW expansion.
I know. I think it's too early for Legacy of the Void.
Think so? I'm
they'll
just saying,
show
like a
something.
trailer. You don't
Nope.
think they'll show a trailer? or
I don't
anything?
think so.
I do.
I think there might be a trailer
Let's
at the end
remember
of
this.
this.
I will bet you a pizza.
BlizzCon's not till
You're on.
August or something.
You're on?
though.
All right.
Yeah.
One pizza. I
Yeah.
think we're gonna see something of Legacy of the Void.
And
I don't think we will. I think we'll see the Diablo expansion.
and we're gonna see the All Stars,
Sure.
Blizzard All Stars thing finally. I would bet too.
yeah, it's
got-
gonna be a big BlizzCon.
I mean, they are
this year.
showing
hey.
something at PAX.
I got all the achievements.
Hey.
Hey.
We do have a Twitter question, Dan. You might have to back out to the menu to show the answer to this. It's from Varric T. Eskimo. He says, is there anything on Heart of the Swarm does better than Wings of Liberty in terms of helping new players get into the game mechanics of the universe?
I don't know if it does.
I
anything
would say
better
they both
so far.
taught
They're
you,
both very
but the
good.
first game was trying to teach you Teran. This game's trying to teach you Zerg.
Right.
But I mean, they did improve the tutorials, and they improved the arcade mode, and there's some of that.
There's no
right. They
turning
made
back
changes to some of
now.
that stuff.
Well, when you say improve the tutorials, are you talking about
do not
the tutorial
understand.
level or the tutorials
The
like
Protoss will never forgive what
or-
I've done here.
The special ones, right? I
If
mean, I don't
my
know. I'm
becoming
not
human
exactly
again
positive.
eased their
But you're
fears,
talking about Heart of the Swarm versus
well,
Wings of Liberty.
I've
Yeah.
given them
Yeah.
new
Yeah, we
reasons
don't
to
know
be
yet.
afraid.
We haven't tried those
But I'm
tutorials.
not going
Gotcha.
to wait for them to come
But I
after me.
I
I'll
can't imagine
strike
them being a
first.
whole lot better than that. All right.
Our Leviathan is able to travel to another world at your command.
I love how your ship is just a giant alien.
Yeah,
It's very
it's
Zerg-like.
It's a bioship, of course.
Yeah.
That's all they got.
They don't have a choice.
Yep.
Why don't she just borrow some of that biomass then?
She's using it.
It's busy making ship
You're,
things.
you're giving me a look like that was the world's dumbest question.
Well, because the easy answer is it's in the script.
Yeah.
Placed parasite into Protoss host.
Yes. What about it?
Clever. Lateral thinking. Protoss not able to be infested, but can still be host to foreign organism. Origins of parasite unknown.
We couldn't give them crabs.
I made it, Abathur. You're not the only one who can spin sequences.
Revelation. Will continue work.
Now he's learning.
Yeah.
I'm not really needed.
Yeah. Abathur's like,
You have another evolution mission though if you want to evolve. I think it's maybe the roaches this time.
Yeah, I think it
A
was
permanent.
the roaches. Yeah, right. Go back.
Well, no, because I still haven't. So I guess the second stage of it is where I get the.
No, but
Yeah,
on the bottom.
The button was right there at the bottom of the screen.
Evolution mission.
Right. Yeah.
Another question from Dreadnought Knight. What is your favorite unit in Heart of the Swarm besides Kerrigan?
Augmentation.
I'm liking those Reaper Zerglings so far, but we have a lot more to go.
For sure.
So who knows? Maybe the Corpser will be my favorite. Ranged assault unit attacks infest enemies. Oh, okay.
Is that a typo?
No, it attacks infest as in verb.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Interesting.
Once killed, 2 Roachlings erupt from the enemy's corpse.
Let's just jump back. They're going to show us.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you get tiny roaches basically off enemies, so you
Yep.
continue to get a bigger swarm.
Yep.
There's a picture of Abathur on the loading screen doing his
And-
gene weaving.
The art's so good, right? Like the
Yeah,
loading
I mean,
screen
the
art.
collector's edition, that's probably the coolest part about it, is it comes with an art book, which the artists at Blizzard they're pretty amazing.
Yeah, for sure. We have another Twitter question from, oh god, Trance Zoostand. So far after playing some of the campaign, would you recommend Blizzard changing anything to get more people into the game?
Planet Kantar.
Not really.
I don't think they really need to get more people into the game. I mean, I'm sure they'd like to, right? They'd always like to sell more, but
Yeah.
the reality is that it's about as approachable as I can really.
I mean, StarCraft 2 is a dense game. Like, the lore is very dense, the gameplay is very dense, and yet it still sells millions of copies. So it's like Blizzard has struck this balance between, you know, making something that's incredibly hardcore, has incredibly high skill level, but they still do a lot to try to ease people into the experience.
Sure. And there are plenty of people that play it and like the way that a lot of people do Call of Duty in the sense that they never play the single player. They just go straight to multiplayer and never look back.
I think people like the multiplayer fans will generally go for a.
They'll play through the campaign at least once, I think. I think the opposite happens more often. Like, I'm more likely to play through this campaign and do all the optional achievements and play it on Brutal and maybe not spend a ton of time in multiplayer. So now we're seeing your fancy new. Oh.
The Centipede.
Oh, I
Scantipede.
Scantipede.
Scantipede. And like a Lyote.
Yeah. Not the most original names.
These names are all like all out of like Avatar: The Last Airbender.
That's true. That's also how Pokemon get named.
Acquired. Roaches modified with parasitic sequence.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Corpser strain implants roachling parasite erupts from enemy's corpse.
Push forward. Leave no survivors.
Now this ability, like I don't think this was in the preview build I played.
Yeah.
But they've been experimenting with these different abilities.
No, this wasn't in the build I played either. The ones that I played were the Bangling Mutations was the one I played. I got to see the 2 Banglings.
All right. Yeah, see,
Oh yeah, they're a little smaller, but they're cool.
Do they? Yeah, they're on a timer.
Okay.
So it just made so the corpsers.
But they move faster too, so they can basically take the brunt.
When the corpsers kill enemies,
they make the roachlings.
They make new like little mini temporary roaches.
Exactly.
That's
so
awesome.
They can just hold the front lines right off these dead bodies.
That's really cool. So like none of your actual units took any damage just there because your temporary ones did it all.
Yep.
I don't know how that makes any kind of sense with mechanical enemies, but.
Well, I don't think the mechanical. Let's see. I bet you the mechanical ones don't spawn them. Those ones spawn roachlings. Like these ones shouldn't.
Well, I think these do.
It's also hard to tell.
I guess they don't.
It's hard to tell what counts as mechanical and what doesn't when you're Protoss.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true because they put half-dead people inside of machines.
Yeah.
Leave no survivors. Pretty much, like if Kerrigan ever gives you an order, I'm pretty sure you can pretty much always just guess that she's going to tell you, leave no survivors.
It's true. Leave some survivors behind this time.
Wow, look how many roachlings you're getting right now, though, as you pop these guys in.
Yeah, that's great. So it's almost like if you were fighting, I mean, I know these aren't in multiplayer, but if they were, like, you would almost not want, like, you know, Marines, you're just like feeding the Protoss more.
Yeah. I mean, but again, it'd be a great counter for something like a siege tank, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like those Immortals would be chewing you up without those guys.
Protoss destroyed. Scantipede essence secure.
Scantipede's pretty cool.
Yeah. That was really, I mean, the next Roach upgrade is going to have to be really impressive.
That's going to be pretty tough though to micromanage if you have other units and stuff though as well.
I mean, they take care of
the control groups won't really work for that.
Right, because they're spawning new ones. Unless you're amazing, I'm sure there are some people who would be control grouping them immediately.
Like, whoop, whoop, whoop. For like the 10 seconds that they last.
Organisms
What a guy here.
reproduce within pools. Generations of roaches ordered to consume. Most organs seize up to die. Survivors adapted, formed symbiotic bonds with microbes.
I like that there's like a scientific explanation of why the evolution occurs too.
Wild Roach.
Okay.
What does
I
it do?
sense Protoss forces nearby. Let's see these new roaches in combat.
Let's go kill stuff.
Vile strain. Acid saliva coats slows movement.
So these are more like disablers.
Attacks.
Yeah. So they're debuffs.
Yeah, so the guys can't move, they attack slower. That's potentially really cool, like in conjunction with like Hydras or Zerglings.
Yeah.
Especially Zergling.
To get your surround on, like slow an enemy unit and then get a surround on.
Like look how slow these guys are
With
attacking.
your swarming Zerglings.
Yeah, it's basically disabling them.
I mean, obviously their slower attack is lowering their DPS, but also their slower movement speed prevents them from escaping.
Yeah.
Right, or imagine that with like a Zealot rush.
Yeah,
right,
for sure. Well, yeah.
I mean, it could happen in single player, but you're right. That's more of a multiplayer thing that you would have to worry about first.
Gotta diversify my portfolio here.
Keep everyone disabled.
Yeah, like have one Roach.
Cool if they're actually blinking.
Do you know if, probably not, this is our first time seeing this, is that ability like stacking, or is it like they either have the slow debuff or they don't?
I think it's binary.
Okay.
Yeah. This is passive.
That's awesome.
Oh wow. So that's, yeah, that's I guess especially
burn down that Colossus.
Nope.
Yeah,
nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, that Colossus is not even firing. There he goes.
Yeah, come on.
Get one guy on each Colossus, and then spend the rest of your guys to burn him down.
Kill.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Man. Okay, I can definitely see why those are not in the multiplayer.
It would be fun, and maybe they'll do this after the last one comes out, just to have a mode where you can play with all these units in multiplayer.
Just some super casual mode that's like they don't even try to balance.
Right.
It'd be interesting to see if like some of these ideas came about as like someone was like, I have this really cool idea for multiplayer, and they're like, man, that is so entirely broken. But
I'm sure
it's awesome for.
a lot of them did.
I mean, I don't have any insider info, but it totally makes sense that they dream up some idea and they're like, that would never work in multiplayer. They're like, put it in the campaign, it'll be awesome.
All right, I'm going Vile Strain.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Oh, man. See, this is 2 times in a row you picked the one I would not have picked.
I just think the Infestor strain is nice just because it.
The Corpsers?
I mean, not the Infestor strain. Sorry, I'm talking about. I actually think you're right. The Vile strain is nice because it slows people down in conjunction with the Zerglings that you're going to have. That would be really nice.
And I like that both of these skills, even though they're very different, they're 2 sides of the same coin. Like, they're both about, neutralizing the frontline troops of the enemy. One just slows them down, and one, throws some meat in between them and, your expensive
And you don't
units.
even have Banelings or Ultralisks or any of your, other get up close and personal units yet.
Let's see, I think I'm going to stick with the adaptive plating for these guys, just so they can stick around.
They can live longer while they're slowing everyone.
Yep.
Thinking about them strategies in conjunction.
Well, I'm looking forward
layering
to
the depth.
Looking forward to evolving the Hydralisk.
Dan, you have 30 minutes before you're going to get your multiplayer on.
Oh god, I'm going to get my ass kicked.
I don't know, do you have any... Do you get a break? Are you going to get to put some food in your body, or are you just StarCraft all day long?
I would like to feed my belly.
Benjamin Z. Ameo says, what do you think of people that say StarCraft is becoming irrelevant because of League of Legends? I don't see that.
They're 2 entirely different things.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean,
I know that Blizzard wants to make their All-Stars game as a version of a mod of StarCraft, it sounds like.
I thought they were talking about...
Hold on, we also have an awesome cutscene.
Yeah, let's watch this.
Here comes Zerg.
Disappears to everybody.
What's up, Z-Dog?
Whoa. Okay, Zeratul, I thought you would at least put up a fight.
Yeah.
He really is just a Sith Lord in this game.
He's also got the space dreads and
Zeratul's always kind of played, though, like a neutral third party. Like, he really just wants what's best for the universe.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, he was the one in the last game that kind of told Raynor that he needed to save Kerrigan, because she was going to save us from the Dark Void.
What do you want?
I want to get a playable Zelnaga. That's what I want.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the Zelnaga is ultimately going to be the threat of everyone. Everyone has to unite to fight.
Whoa.
Kerrigan, I have been to the beginning. Behold, Xeras.
Oh, what?
Birthplace of the Zerg.
Spoiler.
Here the Zerg evolved. And here the Dark One altered them. Those left behind are the Primal Zerg.
I want one of those.
They kill.
Because why not?
They evolve.
So one of the issues I have with this is that's not evolution. That's not how evolution
That's
works.
mutation. Like,
Right.
it's just like a... It's just,
If you survive.
it's fine, though.
evolution requires multiple generations. It's like that's what evolution is.
It's small change over time. It's actually literally the opposite of evolution.
Right.
Go back to the League of Legends things though, just for a second. They're not the same game whatsoever.
No. Oh, this is cool. Look at this.
League of Legends has nothing to fear from StarCraft.
I mean, so
they're both in the competitive scene, but they're both huge for their own reasons.
But there's totally truth to, like, League of Legends becoming more and more and more popular is a threat to StarCraft 2. Like, if you, let's say you're the commissioner of the NFL, if, like, the NBA kept getting more and more and more popular, like, there's a finite amount of money that people are spending on sports, right? Yep. So there's two ways to look at it. One, like, the increase of League of Legends just, like, makes esports as a whole stronger. But on the other hand, it could be taking time and attention away from
I don't think
that
MOBAs or League in particular, Dota, are going to make it irrelevant. Though.
They're very different. That's true. But I still mean, like, even the increase of something like NASCAR could impact the increase of, like, the NFL. Like, they're competing for people's leisure time and money.
Sure.
Right. So do I want to go to Xeros and get the Mutalisk and the Swarm host?
Oh yeah, that's a new unit.
Or
Char has long been home to the Swarm's primary
aberrations are like gigantic monsters that do a ton of melee damage.
I think I got to go for that.
Yeah, you gotta get, and we've been to Char before, so it'll be fun to go back.
Yeah, Char, where the Overmind was destroyed. It's also where the last game ended.
I thought the Overmind was destroyed on Ire.
Ire, you're right. My bad.
Char is the Zerg
homeworld.
Not their homeworld apparently, because apparently Xeros.
Who am I messing up my StarCraft lore here?
It's true.
Well, apparently Xeros is now the Zerg homeworld, or their birthplace is the Zerg. But I guess Char is like
the homeworld, but not their birthplace. The lore is not. It is.
Well, we never knew. We always thought that Char was the homeworld because we didn't know that they originally came from this other world.
Right.
Xeris.
We have another Twitter question from Glacier Fed.
Ugh.
It says, which single unit in the game is going to have the biggest impact during the first few weeks of multiplayer?
No idea.
I mean, the short answer is we don't know.
Ask again when the IPL guys show up. They'll be able to tell you better than we can.
I mean, hopefully it's going to be a mixture of the Zerg units because it'll hopefully make these Zerg battles a lot more interesting, where it's not always just the same combo that everyone's doing, which is like you would always see a lot when I saw was like Infestor Roach, Infestor Roach.
Zerg,
it was like that's all they would do.
Zerg seemed far less dynamic than the other races. You know, Teran, you had that, Bio Ball, you could go, you had a few options, and Protoss had options, but Zerg seemed to be, you were stuck with Infestor play.
At Glacier Fed, I would say, ask that question in about an hour, and you'll probably get a much more detailed answer too, because we're going to have this kid Adrian and some other people, I think, or maybe not Adrian, I'm not sure, but some IPL people are going to be here. And they know Heart of the Swarm.
Is the new Zerg unit the Swarm host? I think one of them that burrows into the ground and spits the... I mean, maybe that's too close to the Brood Lord. Maybe it won't have an impact. But, something like that has potential to really change things up.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I cannot detect the Dark Templar. Is he hidden on the Leviathan, waiting to strike?
He's gone. Whatever agenda he's pursuing.
It's interesting that you're about to assault Warfield's compound. Warfield's like the guy that helped you out at the end of Wings of Liberty.
Helped out
Raynor, and you got him a robotic arm.
As you say, my queen.
See, I don't remember any of that.
The only reason I remember all this is because I just read a ton of backstory to do that story recap, which is on IGN.com.
Before you can reclaim Char,
you get all kinds of Kerrigan levels for this one.
Wow, yeah,
all
7
levels.
7 levels from this one mission. Jesus.
If Dan's able to do the bonus objectives.
Let's not fool ourselves. Dan's going to do the bonus objectives.
I will certainly try. I've missed a couple.
Dan's pretty awesome.
So it is streaming the level content right now. I think that's a strange choice. I mean, my internet at home is not super fast. I'd rather just let the entire game download.
Well, you know what? It probably is an anti-piracy thing.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, you do have to. This is another online game. Like you do connect to Battle.net to play their games, right?
Sure. I think it'd be nice if they gave you the option. Like, look, do you want to download 15 gigabytes up front, or do you want to, grab it piecemeal as you go for people that have faster internet?
Well, I mean, they know that the single player version is going to get pirated. This probably slows it down.
Fair enough.
I like with Wings of Liberty, they enabled an offline mode after a little while.
Yeah.
They'll probably do the same with this.
Sure. I also saw you were in the middle of, sort of an intense battle, Dan. In the corner, a notification popped up that they've disabled achievements.
Yeah, but then it popped back up like a moment later saying achievements are re-enabled.
So do you think that that's Blizzard keeping like a super close eye on load, server load, and whoa, things are there's a spike or something, let's turn a feature off for a little bit?
Could very well be, yeah. They,
Then
you know,
I'll collect
right
the
after
spawn
SimCity.
army and
Huh.
destroy
It's interesting that these other Zerg queens, I guess, you know, queens have enough of a personality that they're like, we don't really like the Queen of Blades.
Right.
We're doing our own thing here.
Yeah. That there are-
This mission I have played before, and it has a grand finale.
There's rival queen here that doesn't like you.
Yeah.
Trying to spawn an army.
So this, I guess, Zergling Reconstitution is not passive. It has.
Oh, okay. So you lose a bunch and then you can click it and respawn.
Right.
That's not bad though.
You are not the Queen of Blades. You are a weak and pathetic Teran creature.
That's rude.
Yeah.
Leave
We'll see.
now if you can.
You gotta gather some eggs.
Meow.
Yeah, we'll see what's up, Zagara.
So are the eggs just around the map?
Yeah.
Okay.
get this
Left
over
here by the other brood.
Something like
Nothing
that.
stands in
Uh-oh.
my way.
I'm gonna get you, man.
Yeah.
Oh, ZVZ.
Oh. Where the hell did Kerrigan go?
Speak quickly.
What are you doing over
If
there?
only you had the ability to respawn Zerglings really
Nothing
fast.
stands in my
Dan.
way.
Yeah, hang on a sec.
Zagara has drawn
Oh, you're
the
in trouble,
attention
you're in
of
trouble.
some feral banelings.
Oh,
They are attacking her.
Yeah.
Zagara has deep tunneled back to her
Okay,
base
I was
to
gonna say, of
recover
course
her
she didn't
strength.
die.
Yeah.
She will return.
What is it
Okay.
now?
Feral banelings.
Banelings very useful. Morph from Zerglings. Any Zergling can morph to Baneling.
Yeah, so this is still, you're deep in the campaign, and it's telling you stuff that, I mean, I know this isn't a tutorial mission, but it's like slowly introducing.
I don't think he's gonna even have all the units until he's like probably like 15 missions into the campaign.
Yeah.
Like it's only gonna be the last few missions where you know you have everything right. And
Yeah, they're gonna roll it out slowly.
yeah.
One thing that's interesting about this campaign is Blizzard's been very careful to say that there's about 20 missions. Like they haven't put an exact pin in it, and I wonder if it's because there is a secret mission or two. Like there's secret missions in Wings of Liberty that you can totally miss.
I
and
guess it's
skip.
tough too because what if someone chooses not to do an optional mission or something? Like there may be
Yeah.
optional ones because you know, like in Wings of Liberty there were some optional missions you didn't have to do.
I guess it's also kind of a spoiler. Like if you knew there was exactly 20, you'd be like, well, this is the finale right here, but maybe now you don't know for sure. So there's that. We're still taking Twitter questions. Tweet at IGN with the hashtag SC2. We're answering them as best we can now. We're also giving away copies of the game and Queen of Blades action figures.
Statues. We call them action figures, but I don't think
Statues.
no one's
Statues.
gonna play with them. Please don't play with them.
Statue. You have enough Zerglings to take over that.
I think so.
Let's get
You
this
gonna
over
expand?
with.
I think so.
Push
You must
ahead.
expand and then.
Zagara's working on the
This world
return.
is mine.
Do some Dan Stapleton special tactics.
That's always the crazy thing when I play a multiplayer
ahead.
match. The very rare times I play a multiplayer
Get
match,
going.
you see like the people that are like, you know, you go through the second by second build order, and you're like, in 14 seconds, you finally built a second worker.
Yeah.
And in 14 seconds, they had 9 workers and 2 Zerglings being made or something.
You
in
see
order
the
to spawning
stats.
pool.
You see the stats afterwards, and that's what. See, I was too impatient. I didn't have the patience to
Something is
really watch
different about this
replays.
nest.
This baneling nest is ready to hatch
baneling.
immediately.
Nice. So I would never. I was too impatient to watch replays, but what I would do is glance at those timings and be like, well, when did they build their second gateway?
Sure.
When did they build this? And that
So
would
you
teach
can kind
me.
of give you the pacing you should be trying to match.
Yeah. Like you can learn how many probes you need to make before,
Exactly.
like when you need to make your second pylon.
Exactly.
Storm never rests.
That
Who
stuff
asked
becomes
you?
really important.
Yeah, it's of the
Get
utmost
going.
importance.
It's a matter of
Nothing
keeping pace.
stands in my way.
Yeah.
Because there are times that I would
Push
build
ahead.
like I'd be building like my
The swarm
my
never rests.
spawning pool, but they would already
Get
have
going.
built like 2 barracks,
Yeah,
right?
for
It's
sure.
like it's just like knowing like the pacing you should do. Maybe I built too many workers too fast.
And that Force Lightning, I'm gonna keep calling it
This
that,
world
is
is
really,
mine.
really powerful.
Infested Terrans.
Yep.
Like against weaker units, and it just chains up between them like that. That's
The
awesome.
swarm never rests.
We have a question from
stands in
Jay
my way.
Fizzley. He asks, are there substantial UI
get
improvements in
this
Heart
over
of the
with.
Swarm?
Not substantial. I mean, there are nice little
Get
things. Like we were pointing out earlier, that it now points out you know how many
Nothing stands in my way.
workers.
how many workers you've got.
There's stuff like that. And they, when you go and select your army again, it sort of shows you like really basic, by default, these sort of basic controls are on in the bottom right corner.
Yeah, and I feel like
They also changed around, sorry, they also changed around like the main menu.
Get
Like the
going.
battle UI is not radically different, but in the main menu it's a lot easier to sort of dive into arcade mode or multiplayer. Like they streamlined a lot of that.
yeah, and I feel like it's entirely possible there could be other UI improvements that maybe we're not as perceptive to because we don't play this religiously.
But
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
he's asking if there are substantial UI differences. No,
Okay.
I don't
Yeah, I
think
mean,
so.
as someone that the last time I touched this game was probably a year ago, when I dove in, like I noticed that the menus were better and smoother, but you know, it didn't feel radically different to me.
I had a very passionate affair with this game in 2010.
Me too.
And then after that, it's just like, then the very nature of our jobs makes it hard to play one game a lot post-release.
We unfortunately have to leave the pro StarCraft 2 playing to others.
Luckily, we have some of them in the building.
That's
they
true.
Will be in here probably as soon as we finish this mission, I would say.
Yeah, League of Legends is like the only game that I can speak to at any sort of really, really intelligent level, and even then, I am not pro.
Who asked you?
So rude.
I wasn't paying enough attention. We were talking and answering questions and whatnot. I'm not even exactly sure what I understand you're doing in this mission.
No, he's gathering eggs because
what's the, like why? What's the?
We're trying to raise. So this other queen, Zagara, has all these eggs that she hasn't hatched yet. She's trying to build an army.
Okay.
You're coming here to get these eggs to spawn an army, and I think you're going to destroy General Warfield's base once you have an army.
Oh, right. And she has her own egg count in the top left, so it's like a race to see who can collect 100 eggs first.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool.
I'll go kill her just to make sure she doesn't.
Slow her down with your banelings.
Yeah. Well, so you kill her and she just warps back to her base.
Exactly, but you can keep her from collecting eggs. Here she comes.
Baneling bust. I guess it's not a bust.
Get her.
What
a buster.
Oh man.
I sense more eggs here.
A minor setback.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, you're not even close. You have 12 eggs, Zagara. I don't think you're in a position to trash talk.
Tier like 70?
Yeah.
Nothing stands in my way. Speak quickly.
Also, Jay Fisley, who asked the question about the UI improvements, you won a Kerrigan statue. We're giving away one every hour, I think.
Well, a Kerrigan statue or a copy of the
we're
game.
giving away a prize every hour, so make sure you're tweeting at IGN with the hashtag SC2 with your questions, and you know, you can win stuff.
This world is mine.
For free. Our awesome social team. Eric Martin will probably be the one that'll
Thank
make
you, Eric Martin. I'm assuming you're listening.
Unsung hero. Yeah, he's listening.
Yes.
I sing about Eric all the time.
Yeah, unsung hero.
Nothing stands in my way.
You lost all your units.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can still collect them eggs.
There's
You're going to be really close to 100
Give
now.
this a try. Okay. I don't really understand how this works. So, cool down. So does that mean that? Oh, I guess it automatically worked. Okay.
It just does it on its own.
Yeah, but it only
So
does
it's on a cooldown.
And it only can do 10 at a time.
Right.
Interesting.
That's good. I mean, you can't just send in a wave of 60 Zerglings.
Yeah.
You're in a single player and be like, they're all dead, respawn.
Yep. Let's see. Like my use of hotkeys there, or lack thereof.
Yeah.
It's okay, you can click.
Trust me, the mouse clicking. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Dan. I mean, you know, people can make fun of me all they want, but the highest I think my APM ever got, actions per minute, for people is 26. That was like the highest it ever got.
I would hit, and that's actually funny. I mean, at lower levels, the higher your APM gets, that really is like a proxy for your ability at the game.
Sure.
Like you were Bronze League with 26, and I was at about 40 to 50, and I was in Silver. So.
Right. It's just eventually, though, like, you'll always hear about, you know, like such and such
300.
on Team Liquid has like an APM of 300. But it's like a lot of those are them
spamming,
repeating
right?
the action.
Yeah.
Like they give the same order like 14 times.
They're
but when you see
warming
their hands
warm
moving,
up,
though,
really.
it makes them look unhuman.
Yep.
They're warming up their fingers. I mean, that's what makes them pros. Like if you're watching the match, that's the difference between someone that's like a really good amateur and a pro.
Well, that and the fact that they can literally think about doing 7 things at once.
Yeah.
Like they can be like,
They
this
have it all
battle's going to
down.
go on. I'm going back to my base, building things, managing the battle.
Simple, catalytic.
Is this the explosive conclusion, Dan?
It is, yeah.
Ready in a moment.
Building our army.
Actually, I didn't really pay attention to what the bonus objectives were that time. I may have prematurely gathered my eggs. But
Yeah, the bonus objective was destroy the 2 infested command centers.
oh, I did not do that.
Well, you got 1.
Whoa!
Yeah. So
Well, you could probably still kill
Oh,
another
look
one.
at that slowdown.
We destroyed
Yeah, that's true.
one of the infested Teran structures.
Look at that. You have
One
so
more
many
remains.
units that things are getting insane. Yeah, get that second command center before you.
Oh my god.
oh, I'll get it.
It's funny because I don't even think you're at pop cap right now. Or maybe it doesn't count.
He's close.
Yeah,
He's
they
almost
don't
there.
count.
I was gonna say, because this seems like way more than pop
Yeah,
cap.
actually,
Oh my god.
This is insane. That's really cool.
The flood.
Yeah, that's true.
Our forces are under attack.
That might be 200 if that were all your units.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Get that command center.
Get it.
Yeah.
There you go.
There it
The
is.
last infested Teran structure.
Okay. Bonus completed. Now just kill Zagara's base.
Yeah, normally I would say don't run them in one at a time like this, but I don't think it's
kinda
gonna
funny.
matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just insurmountable numbers, man.
Such power. How can you control so many?
She's the queen of blades.
With attack move.
Yeah.
Control
A move. That's awesome. Oh, and her lightning is all powerful now. Arcing off things. Wow.
And thus Zagara was destroyed.
Yeah. There's buildings in the left you have to get to.
And yeah, surprised it makes me do this.
Yeah, it's like you won. You blatantly just won.
Oh god, look how much blood sprayed out.
They like, you know, the designers, when I was asking them about this mission, they actually refer to that as the victory lap.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like, when you get the eggs, you won the mission. That's just like fireworks.
Right.
It's like the fireworks that shoot out of Mario's castle. Or the castle that he storms.
Sorry, I got distracted by the story.
The Zerg lead by force of will. Your will is strongest, and I shall serve you.
I will let you live, Zagara. I want to rebuild the swarm,
too soon.
and you are a part of that
I
plan.
said she never allows survivors, but
You are my queen.
And that's what this campaign is all about, right? Is collecting the biomass
Reunifying
and
the Zerg.
reunifying the Zerg.
yeah, you're building the swarm, the heart of the swarm, if
So
you will.
I did not hatch all 6 baneling nests in the domination. Okay, I didn't do
Before
that.
collecting the eggs.
Right. Do not let Zagara get. Okay.
I like
collect
all
any eggs. Don't let her collect any eggs.
Whoa!
Is what, yeah.
So you have to just be there as soon as she respawns.
Yep.
We're gonna have the pros in here in about 10 minutes. Is there anything that we can show in the meantime, or should we just go ahead and jump into the next mission?
We can do that, or we could go back and play that one on Brutal and see what happens.
Oh, look at this! You got banelings now.
Yeah.
Zagara is here to serve your will.
Now she joined
Tell
your
me,
crew.
Zagara,
What's up, Z?
how would
Yeah.
you drive the Terrans from this world?
I would obliterate their fortress.
We've got, like,
on the
Predator
darkest plateau.
motifs
But
down
the
Yeah,
only
for sure.
way to reach it is through the bone trench.
What about flying?
Be warned. Ever since the Terrans destroyed our infested platform, they control the skies.
Shut up.
We will be vulnerable.
That doesn't concern me. Warfield has no idea what he's up against.
But what of the
Warfield is a very literal name for a general. Little on the nose.
Warfield.
Maybe he just changed it to that.
But I know it's
That's
not
true.
here on Char.
Is it just me, or
It's
does
no
Kerrigan's
threat to us.
face even look a little bit like a voice actress?
Yeah, she does. I totally think that they did that intentionally. I mean, this is not the original Kerrigan face that, you know.
Let's see. Let's see if we can go back. And
So we do have a Twitter question from Yo Soda.
Okay.
It says, when will there be a review up for Heart of the Swarm, and who's reviewing it?
I am reviewing it, and as soon as I can manage it, it'll probably be a week.
You still got SimCity.
Well, I've turned in my review for SimCity, so as soon as
Dan just
that's
came.
ready.
That's true.
Dan just officially came over to the IGN side, and immediately we gave him too much to do.
Yeah, we throw you right into the fire. Hey, do an all-day live stream.
Well, not only
also
that-
review SimCity.
Not only that, but we were like, "Hey, Dan, review like the 2 biggest PC
Right.
games in like the span of a month
Yeah.
that are going to take a considerable amount of playtime."
Yeah.
I'm sorry for that, Dan.
Can you hop back into the main menu? There's something this isn't even for the viewers. You might want to save
Like,
first.
for the
though.
But the reason
campaign,
they're-
it is due.
Save. Make sure you
Well,
save.
it auto
It's yeah.
Oh, it
the
does.
reason
So
to
go to
point
the
out
main
that
menu.
the reason to point out that the review is going to take a while to do too is that the game we could not play it until it went live for everyone.
Yeah.
So we need to play through it, and Dan's going to need to put a considerable amount of time into multiplayer to be able to really speak to how he feels about it. So
Dan,
it's coming.
Maybe no one else cares about this, but I am curious to sort of poke through the Heart of the Swarm achievements and sort of see what there is for people to do. You have to go back to the main menu, and then you can access achievements.
We have to go back.
Oh, and then you do it under your profile. Sorry,
Okay.
my mistake.
You gotta go back.
We gotta go back. The Swarm, and so actually go back. There's one thing I do want to point out. So even though this is an expansion, like it's all integrated into one package. Like you're not booting into some separate thing. Like you have the Liberty campaign right there, the Swarm campaign right there. Now they're cool. I'm just curious about the Swarm achievements. Like, are there any? Yeah, man. So you've been doing your best to do all the optional ones.
Well, I wouldn't say I've been doing my best.
Well, but I mean, you know what I mean. Like you've been doing a lot of them, and there's still. I love the achievement design in StarCraft 2.
Me too.
I know. I know a lot of people do. I mean, it's just because a lot of them are tied to things that actually make a mission more fun, rather than just pointless things like you did this right. You killed 100 guys.
So you guys weren't here for this one, but like this is like the closest thing to like a conventional like boss fight, video gamey boss fight that I've ever seen in StarCraft. Like this thing has like attack patterns and it strafes and then lands.
The
and then,
Brutal Legend.
Yeah, and then it's well this Archangel mech. So then it'll land. It's like a giant.
That's weird to have a boss fight like that in StarCraft, where it's not a boss; it's just a really tough level. It's a guy.
You have to move your units around, and this is also. I mean, I guess it's kind of a spoiler for where you're going to go in the campaign. Although you know, just the words don't mean too much.
Is there a Kerrigan specific?
Oh, look at that deal. See,
yeah, so these ones are the deal 15,000 damage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it cumulative? What happens if you open that achievement? You can usually see your progress towards it.
Oh yeah. No, I haven't
Yes.
done that. Yeah.
Oh,
but he hasn't done anything with Leaping Strike. That's the thing.
Oh, so and what was your oh yeah, so kill 50 enemies or units or structures with that specific ability.
Right. And chain lightning, I've been using a lot of that.
So that's why you got that one.
Yeah. And they've got mastery achievements.
These are like the meta achievements, right? Or
Destroy 3 factories in Lab Rat. Yeah, so I guess these must be like the super high-end stuff.
Yeah, I think that's really smart because it's not just like beat this mission on easy, beat it on normal,
well,
beat it on hard.
These are all on hard difficulty, so you have to be playing on hard.
Sure,
difficulty.
there are some of those, but they do have some really fun.
Right, so it's not just beat the mission on hard. It's beat the mission on hard while doing this extra thing that you wouldn't have done normally.
So what I did in Wings of Liberty was I played on normal and got the optional achievements that I could, like fully explore the map and do all those. And then I would do the hard achievements, and then I would go through and do on brutal. Like that's what I tried to do. Right. And what else is there? Dan, can you pop back out one more time? Go all the way back. I'm curious about those challenge missions, if you can hop into that. It's not in the achievements pane, sorry.
Would be in...
I think it's under campaign.
Is it?
Yeah, those challenge missions right up there.
All right.
Are those the same? Are these the same? These are the same ones from base Wings of Liberty. These aren't new.
Yeah, I don't think they've done any ones.
Okay.
Yet.
Yeah, hopefully they will. And if you go back out, one of the things that I want to point out, sorry, go back into your profile. I like that you have a level, a multiplayer swarm level. Mm-hmm. So I think that's really interesting.
They're completely different games, really.
What happens if you hop into that now? You unlock decals and stuff as your character levels up, don't you?
Sorry, you want me to hop into which?
Can you? Oh, you can't click on your swarm level.
Yeah.
Sorry, see, this is all. I do think the UI is very slick and very smooth, but it is new to us.
Right. And yeah, have not completed Heart of the Swarm yet.
No, and it shows you, Dan, I want to be such a voyeur and pop into your match history.
This is going to be some ancient history.
Wow, it really does cheap track for a long time.
That's what I'm saying.
78 weeks ago.
It tracks all of it. Mine were like 130 weeks ago that I played the game. And that's what I said. So this is the screen that I landed on last night.
And it was just like 8 losses, and you're like, oh, okay, that's why I never played this again.
I had a couple of these bad streaks.
And you can see the ones where you're losing points, those are the ones that were actual ranked matches. Right. And the ones that there are no points, that was you doing custom matches for fun.
No, because most of these should be... Oh, no, I guess these are all custom. So where are all my ranked matches? Because I played a lot of ranked matches.
Like, this is what... I understand the complaint that people have about services like Battle.net or Origin or these always-on, services. But the advantage is when it works well, you get sort of this deep stat tracking like this where... Like, I thought it was really cool to see, like, oh, how good was I at StarCraft 2, a year and a half ago, and then see, like, I reinstalled the game, had 8 losses.
Gotten way terrible.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, maybe it's only keeping track since, like, the last score wipe, or they did like a...
Oh, because you don't have your older data?
Right. Maybe
Mine was on there. I think it's maybe just having, it's chugging, trying to load it a little bit.
It's almost like their servers might be busy or something right now with a bunch of people doing
with a giant game launch. And also, if you back out to the main menu, another thing that I want to illustrate that we talked about is, well, I guess I'm not exactly sure where you get to switch the server, switch like the Korean server.
Right.
Oh no, they disabled that for 24 hours.
Okay.
Because they're rolling out the game.
So it'll be up soon. But I believe it's on the left side or something when it's actually enabled.
So check this out: 750,000 players on BattleNet, 15,812 StarCraft 2 games worldwide.
BattleNet is hard to say because that's also including
StarCraft
and Diablo.
Or, sorry, and yeah.
And another UI improvement that they made, the last thing that I would want to point out is they did a lot better job of surfacing community stuff now. You can see it on the left side of the screen, or the right side of the screen. You know, they're surfacing chat rooms and they're surfacing sort of the clans and group systems. You know, now you can have, like, we could have an IGN group, which I think you're going to do this afternoon, right?
I think so. I think
get some people in an IGN group.
So it's 12:30.
Yes.
And that means it's time for multiplayer.
Let's get the pros in here.
What we're going to do is, real quick, we're going to put it up on our the story so far video to catch you up on Wings of Liberty, and when we come back, we'll have the IPL guys here to talk about some multiplayer.
All right. I need to go to the bathroom.
The sequel to the mega popular RTS StarCraft 2, Wings of Liberty, is almost here, and we wanted to help you catch up on the story. Whether you played it a couple years ago and forgotten, or maybe you just never played it and you want to jump right into the heart of the swarm, here's a quick story recap to catch you up. The Brood War is over. The Zergified version of Kerrigan has taken the remaining swarm and gathered them on Char, seemingly going quiet. The Dominion has recovered and secured its position as the greatest Terran power in the universe. Led by Arcturus Mansk, the Dominion works now only to destroy a small rebel faction led by the hero from the previous StarCraft games, Jim Raynor. Things are not going well for Raynor. In their struggle against Mansk, they're always short on supplies, troops, and that oh-so-precious resource during wartime, hope. Things start to look up, though, when Raynor links up with his longtime friend Tychus Finlay, a Marine released from cryo prison. Finlay gets Raynor on board with the mission to steal alien artifacts and sell them to the Mobius Foundation for some cold hard cash. Unfortunately, they encounter an invading Zerg force, which goes on to attack several worlds throughout the Dominion. After licking their wounds, Finlay and Raynor strike out again to capture precious alien relics. Contending with an unruly splinter faction of Protoss as well as the Zerg, the duo keeps trucking on with the Raiders until Raynor is confronted by a past ally, the Dark Templar Zeratul. Zeratul warns Raynor about Kerrigan, spouting off something about how she's the only one that can save them even though she's totally turned into a horrific monster. Zeratul hooks Raynor up with a special crystal that allows him to see into Zeratul's past, where he watches Zeratul search for a prophecy that speaks of a long-gone race known as the Xel'Naga. After a bit of boring old archaeology, Zeratul confronts some Zerg and Kerrigan in a badass fight. Zeratul wounds Kerrigan and leaves with some fragments of the prophecy. Using the prophecy, Zeratul learns something about a fallen one, can you say Kerrigan? And something about a great hungerer. In his infinite wisdom, Zeratul thinks the great hunger refers to the now-deceased Overmind, and heads to the lost Protoss homeworld of Ire. After psychically communing with the Overmind's corpse, Zeratul sees the spirit of Tassadar, another corporeally deceased hero from the older StarCraft games. Zeratul learns that the Overmind had been turned evil by the Dark Voice, which is why the Zerg attacked the Protoss rather than being a somewhat normal, if gross and slimy, part of the universe. The big thing Zeratul learns, though, is that the Overmind created Kerrigan, aka the Queen of Blades, as a form of protest, a being with free will who could hopefully save the Zerg from the manipulation of the Dark Voice. Raynor's final vision in the crystal shows him what might be. The destruction of Kerrigan leads to the destruction of everything. With this in mind, Raynor and the Raiders again set out to get the artifacts, something that Kerrigan is also doing. Raynor's hired by the leader of the Mobius Foundation to destroy important data before Kerrigan can get a hold of it, but seeing Kerrigan, Raynor's once-girlfriend, throws him into a low point. After fighting the splinter group of Protoss over another artifact, Raynor's Raiders encounter the Dominion flagship. Raynor jumps at the chance to kill Arcturus Mansk. Only after boarding, he runs into Mansk's son, Valerian. Valerian strikes a deal with Raynor to return to the Zerg homeworld of Char and try and rescue Kerrigan from her infestation. The decision to rescue Kerrigan does not sit well with Raynor's Raiders, which leads to a drunken brawl between Tychus, Finlay, and Raynor. Despite being in full armor, Finlay gets the crap beaten out of him, signaling an end to a long-time friendship. Raynor manages to turn the crew opinion around after explaining to them that, while the Zerg are horrible and pretty evil, they're not as bad as what's out there. Raynor meets up with General Horace Warfield, a Dominion general who kinda thinks Raynor's a bastard, and the two of them hash out a plan alongside Valerian. Despite new alliances and a mission that the crew are now behind, things go bad for the Terrans as they attempt to invade Char. The Zerg launch a preemptive strike, and many initial forces are lost. Through battle and the fact that Raynor saves his ass, Raynor and General Warfield become buddies. After a rousing speech from Raynor, Raynor and Warfield's forces strike the main hive. The artifact pieces that Raynor have been gathering are finally assembled into a complete artifact. The device is detonated, destroying the Zerg and restoring Kerrigan to a state that looks mostly human. Unfortunately, the drama isn't over. As Raynor enters the hive to rescue Kerrigan, Tychus reveals that he's had a deal with Arcturus Mansk all along to kill Kerrigan in return for his freedom. Raynor defends Kerrigan, shooting Tychus. Then, just like the traditional Western, Raynor carries his girlfriend off into the sunset. And there you have it. StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm is upon us. We hope that you're prepared to control the swarm. For more on StarCraft 2, you can go to IGN.